is going on, everybody? It is episode 973 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my guest co-host for the day in the studio, no less. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Alex Ayala, video editor and producer here at Timcast. Great to be back.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Doing good?
Doing good.
I actually, I was like, do you want to go? You want to be on the show last week when we were? So we were off, guys. I told this story yesterday. I came back after the first week off, and my mixer had basically exploded. I made the mistake. The mixer that we have here has been here since Timcast IRL, the original. We literally transported all of this equipment from the upstairs to the castle. And that mixer had been there since before our show existed, and finally a transformer came down in this area, and it finally bit the dust. It was the one piece of tech that I forgot to turn off when we went out of town, and so I was like, Alex, do you want to come and do the show? But then you couldn't, but It didn't matter because the transformer blew up our sound mixer.
Well, thank God it didn't work out. But yes, me and my husband were going to come and hang out with Brett for Pop Culture. Unfortunately, my husband had an ice skating accident and broke his femur. Yes. So we spent the Christmas week just pretty much doing nothing.
Just groaning. He's doing okay, though?
He's doing all right.
Perfect.
Yes.
And we also have a special guest here today. Introduce yourself.
Hi, friends. It's Charlie. Happy New Year. I host the Green Room Show, and I help out with a whole bunch of stuff. Like the Boonies. We got new skateboards dropping. Go to shop.boonieshq.com.
You're kind of like a utility player in baseball. You're a sports guy.
I do a little bit of everything. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You can bat 250 from either side of the plate and
above Mendoza level.
There you
What's
go.
the Mendoza line? It's like what 185? Is that what it is? It's something bad.
So you can, but you enough to. What did you say earlier? No, because we were talking about your interviews, and you're like, I know a little bit of
little bit about enough just to get by.
Yeah.
You know. We were talking about, like, I interviewed Scott Horton. They're like, he's really intellectual. That must be stressful. I'm like, I just ask him questions and let him talk. It's easy.
That's what that's your job. That's what you're supposed to. I was actually listening to a podcast earlier about so in the wrestling space, podcasts tend to be like there's a personality who everybody knows. It's a famous wrestler, and they usually have a co-host who does more of the technical side of things, who is not a name, right? And they were talking about the idea that your job isn't to be the host, even though you are the host. Your job is to be able to coax what you need to out of the actual face of the show.
Speaking of wrestling, not to get down this rabbit hole, I was very excited for Chris Jericho to come back last night.
He didn't.
And he didn't, and I was so upset. I had to watch stupid Stranger Things.
Which had no Stranger Things actors in there. If you guys know what we're talking about, they did the 1 year anniversary of WWE Raw on Netflix, and it was like the Stranger Things special edition.
It was cool, like with all the stuff, but it was stupid.
And so in the match at the end, it was like CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, and they thought that he was going to run in, and he didn't.
Yeah, because Michael Cohen said they're going to break the walls down.
Yeah,
and
in the social media video.
And it was just a reference to breaking the walls down in Stranger Things, but with wrestling, it's clearly Chris Jericho because you break the walls down.
And if you don't know, if you're not like us, he's his contract just came due at AEW, and a lot of people think he's going to enter his like final run as a pro wrestler in WWE, obviously, because actually we just had the retirement of John Cena.
I was going to say the franchise is over now, so we have to go to the next one.
And AJ Styles is rumored to be finishing this year at WrestleMania, so they think that Chris Jericho is going to come back for like one more run, not like a year like Cena's.
I don't think
He'll be a couple of years. Like he's got more than 1 year in him, but they think that he'll finish with WWE, but he didn't come back.
I heard The Rock might be coming back for WrestleMania, but he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to hang him up.
Well, he's tiny now. Have you seen him?
Oh, he is anemic. Yeah, he is tiny. He's not
Ozempic now?
I don't know if it's Ozempic, but he's definitely leaner.
I think he hit an age where like the steroids were finally messing with his.
Longevity. It comes to body size, and you can't be. It's kind of. I'll be The Rock, but I'm gonna be a leaner version of The Rock, like Batista too.
Yeah, though, funnily enough, like The Rock post wrestling was huge compared to The Rock when he actually wrestled.
That's actually true.
Like
he got
bigger when he finished wrestling and went into Hollywood like full time. He was big because he was a tall, dense dude. But once he quit wrestling full time and went straight to movies, he was enormous.
Whatever he was taking after, because during his run in the WWE, he was not the svelte cut Rock that we know now. He was like that baby fat waterweight Rock, which was still impressive. But
there was a meme that was like only The Rock could make The Rock look like a pussy. And it was like older Rock versus younger Rock. And then there was another one, was like the evolution of The Rock. It was like The Rock in '98. He's wearing like a University of Miami shirt. He's very not small. He's huge compared to me, but tiny. Then there's Wrestling Rock, and then there was like enormous
Hollywood Rock.
and there was just a picture of a boulder. It was like the
just moving.
Yes. So we got off on a tangent here, ladies and gentlemen. That's
Nerds.
good. I love.
Fun. It's fun. Wrestling's fun.
I love a good tangent. That's what I want this podcast.
Well,
to
actually,
be
we were
about.
just talking about Mickey Rourke and the wrestler.
Yeah,
and
Mickey
that's the only
Rourke,
thing I got.
We
So
will say that we'll connect those two
We're
guys.
transitioning.
Hit the like button on the video today and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share this live stream and all the episodes out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, people in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster this channel can grow. And we have been growing steadily. I think we added another 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers last month. So it's been fantastic, guys. So subscribe and make sure you watch all of the videos, because I've been putting out stuff that isn't just on the show. I'm thinking about creating or having a separate thumbnail platform, like thumbnail design created for the ones that I do that aren't on the podcast, because most people are looking for segments that come from the show, but I've been doing a lot of content that isn't necessarily during episodes of PCC. So go back, check that out. I also have a couple of special edition episodes that went out on the audio version of the podcast that aren't episodes of the podcast. They're called the PCC Weekend Update. You can find all of those on there. It's a lot of fun to make all of that. So what are we getting into today? We've got a bunch of stuff to get into. Number one, of course, being that actor Callum Turner. He's from the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them franchise. It's the Harry Potter spin-offs. He's supposedly been blabbering about town that he is going to be the next James Bond, which isn't a very spy-like thing to do, but we are going to talk about that. We are also going to talk and allow me to get a little bit pedantic and obscure about the concept of sincerity in movies, which is something that I think is sorely missing. I have a list of like the movies that I've liked in the last few years, and I found that overt sincerity from the writers, which are then portrayed by the actors, seems to be the key ingredient that blends all of those films together, at least in my opinion. We're also going to look at some of the box office rankings for what is coming in 2026 as per Variety, meaning the movies that they're saying are a sure thing, the ones that they believe are safe bets, and also the ones that they think are perhaps long shots as far as successful films. Also, we've got news about another death at a Disney property. It seems to be the scariest place on earth you could be right now is at Disney World, it seems. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about this Mickey Rourke GoFundMe. It's not a scam, as I've learned, but it is a scam. So we're going to get into that. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we can just go for it. Alex, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Ready?
Let it ride.
I was waiting for somebody to say no, but apparently everybody is ready. So let's go ahead and get started then.
Well, if we said no, would we just pause?
Yeah.
What would we do if we said no?
So I'd be like, okay, well then I guess we're just gonna.
We'll just hang out, play the waiting
You need
music.
like a crickets.
Yeah, I was like, we're just gonna. I guess we'll just end the show then. So okay, again, we're good.
We're
Yeah,
good.
we're good.
We're good?
Actually, I don't know. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started then. So if you guys didn't see this story, this is a very, very interesting one. So Mickey Rourke, actor Mickey Rourke, you guys might know him from The Wrestler. He was also in one of the Iron Man movies. Been around for a long time, or as I like to think of him, as the character from The Expendables. There was a GoFundMe launched on Sunday by a woman named Kimberly Hines, who I later learned is his manager, on behalf of somebody named Laia Joelle Jones, who I still can't place who this lady actually is. She may be the assistant to Mickey Rourke's manager, because Mickey Rourke got a notice of basically $60,000 of back rent that he owed, and he was going to be evicted in 3 days. So a GoFundMe was set up, said to help Mickey Rourke stay in his home. It had a $100,000 goal, and he has now come out and said that this whole thing was fake. He didn't ask for any money. He didn't seem to actually even know what GoFundMe was, you know, because he's
Mickey Rourke.
He's Mickey Rourke. And he made a video about this. We can't even show the video because his dogs are literally barking the whole time. But we'll go through some of the quotes. But what we found out after the fact is that his manager set up and tried to explain it to him and didn't really explain it that well. And now he's mortified because of the concept of getting help from anyone.
Oh, boy.
Really, really upsets him. So let's go ahead and look at the story here. This is from Variety. I'll put it up on screen here if anybody wants to see. Mickey Rourke starts GoFundMe to avoid eviction from Los Angeles home. Fame does not protect against hardship. Mickey Rourke launched a GoFundMe on Sunday. Again, that part has been proven wrong. In December, the Oscar-nominated actor was served a notice to pay roughly $60,000 in back rent or vacate his Los Angeles home. This came from via People magazine. The GoFundMe, titled "Help Mickey Rourke Stay in His Home," raised $93,564 so far. That has since gone well over $100,000.
Wow.
That's a good
It
day.
says Mickey Rourke entered American cinema like a force of nature, raw, fearless, and utterly original, reads the donation page description. In the late 1970s and 80s, he wasn't just a movie star, he was a symbol of something rare, danger paired with vulnerability. Toughness paired with heart. From Diner to Rumblefish to 9.5 Weeks, Mickey gave audiences performances that felt lived in, not performed, and left a permanent mark on American film culture. The blurb goes on to say that after Rourke stepped away from acting for boxing, he was burdened with lasting physical and emotional scars and abandoned by the industry that once celebrated him. I always find that interesting, that the industry is supposed to treat you like a human being when an industry is just an industry.
No, it's a machine.
It's a machine. Its job isn't really to take care of the feelings of anybody. That's not how the world works.
Well, it's Hollywood,
Well,
so
I
they just
didn't-
think differently of themselves.
Yeah.
So it goes on. Rourke's major breakout role was in Francis Ford Coppola's 1983 drama Rumblefish, and then it gives his other, notable performances. But then we got this article here, so I will pull this up at the top. It says Mickey Rourke denies that he set up the GoFundMe to avoid eviction as it reaches $100,000. If I needed charity, I wouldn't ask. If I needed money, I wouldn't ask for no effing charity. In a video posted on his Instagram page on Monday, which again I can't play because his dogs are like barking the whole time, Rourke said somebody set up some kind of foundation or fund for me to donate money, like in a charity, and that's not money, and that's not me, okay? If I needed money, I wouldn't ask for no effing charity. And then he says, I quote, "I'd rather stick a gun up my ass and,
Oh, geez.
and pull the trigger."
I mean, that's one way
Those
to
are
do
his
it.
words.
Jeez Louise.
Rourke was speaking while holding his dog Lucky and sporting a pink V-neck and his signature cowboy hat. He is frustrated and confused by the situation. This is another quote. It says, "Whoever did this, I don't know why they did it. I don't understand it. I wouldn't know what a GoFund Foundation is in a million years." He continued, "My life is very simple. I don't go to outside sources like that. And yeah, it is embarrassing, but I'm sure I'll get over it like anything else." The GoFundMe page was set up by Leah Joelle Jones for Kimberly Hines and has now raised more than $100,000 of its goal. Again, Kimberly Hines has since done an interview with The Hollywood Reporter trying to explain all of this, because I'm sure she was terrified that people thought she might be trying to pull
money.
a scam
Steal
or something like
people's
this.
money.
I'm assuming that the other name, Leah Joelle Jones, is her assistant, because that was another reference point, is that she had an assistant. I couldn't find anything on Leah Joelle Jones except there was like an Instagram thought with that name where it was
Nice.
literally nothing but like thirst traps. So I don't know if that's who this person is and they just don't post about their work, but I couldn't find anything about that.
It's Mickey Rourke.
Could just be an
disguise.
OnlyFans scams.
That was my first thought, was
Yeah.
like, is this some type of
Get scammed by an
OF,
OnlyFans.
OF scam, done overseas in Romania or something like that.
Yeah.
So it goes on, says, "Fame does not protect against hardship and talent does not guarantee stability." The description reads, "What remains is a person who deserves dignity, housing, and the chance to regain his footing." In his video message, Rourke encouraged his fans, those who had donated, to not give any money, and if you gave money, get it back. "I'm going to talk to my lawyer. I hate talking to him, but I've always had him and I forever, and I love him. But I'm going to talk to Bill and get to the bottom of this." The actor was served a notice in December to pay about $60,000 in owed back rent or face eviction. So he has since moved into a hotel and he's moving into like an apartment in Koreatown. And then there was this article. Mickey Rourke's manager reveals details behind the actor's controversial GoFundMe. So it says, out of funds, his manager of 9 years, Kimberly Hines, and her assistant, so that's why I believe the assistant might be the other person that was named in it, launched an emergency GoFundMe early Sunday to save Rourke from the threat of homelessness. After The Hollywood Reporter covered the fundraising effort and the media caught wind of the story, however, Rourke ensconced in a West Hollywood hotel until he can relocate to a more permanent apartment in Koreatown. Posted on Instagram disavowing any knowledge of the humiliating fundraiser and pledging to return every nickel. So it says, Kimberly, this is an interview they did with her. It says, "Kimberly, can you clear up the confusion over Mickey's GoFundMe? In the last 48 hours, we moved him out of his house. We put him up in a West Hollywood hotel. The GoFundMe was done for Mickey. That money's going to Mickey. It's not going to me. And if Mickey doesn't want his money now and decides I don't want help, it's like a charity. The money will be returned. So they're basically saying, like a charity, if the money doesn't get used. First of all, does anybody really believe that that's how it works in most charities these days? I don't really think
only
most
10% goes to the cause.
Yeah, right.
Hello.
So they're basically saying that, he knew nothing about it, and they tried to explain it to him, and it didn't work. How was the GoFundMe idea presented to Mickey? With your help, we were shocked that the GoFundMe took off. We're like, let's do this little GoFundMe thing. We'll see what happens. This will help Mickey. And Dima, his assistant, and I were like, this is good. It will help Mickey. We said, Mickey, here's some people that want to help out. He's like, okay, great. I don't think he understood, and now it's taken on this media frenzy, and we flipped out. So I think the thing is they're like, you know what? We're going to find a way to help you. And he's like, okay, they're going to find a way to help me that isn't going to rely on, like, the charity of strangers.
I was going to say that. I feel like they came to him and was like, hey, we got this idea. We're going to raise some money. It's going to be this. He'd be like, okay, that sounds good. I don't really know what it is, but whatever. Yeah. And then here we are.
Yeah.
So
he is 73 years old, so I mean, something could have just went past him,
It's one of those things where like, we're going to do this. What do you think? He's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And then it happens. He's like, whoa, that's not what I want. And then,
Also, it is like, I'd be of the same way. Like, I don't know how I'd feel about somebody like launching something like that in my, like, with my name attached to it.
I'm more curious as to why he owes money.
Because he didn't pay rent for.
But why?
Because he's Mickey Rourke. Because he's Mickey Rourke.
The Expendables checks have run out.
Well, he had to.
You can't be embarrassed. I mean, you did it to yourself.
We got a couple of 20s here. So this is Zach hates YouTube. I hope I'm wrong, but I fear within 6 months we will no longer see Mary on the show. I don't think remote is going to work.
Ouch.
Well, you should stop being so negative all the time. That's what you should stop doing. Rico Cantrell, but thank you for the super chat. Rico Cantrell says, gee, don't forget the movie Spun from 2002. If you haven't seen it, crazy awesome cast. Google it. Do it live. Well, whenever somebody says to do something live, I assume I'm trying to get tricked into putting something on screen that isn't supposed to be.
Or they
on
want
screen.
you to watch Spun and do commentary as it's being played.
I mean, honestly, the greatest thing to be able to do would be if YouTube would allow you to just react.
That'd be amazing.
Or do watch-alongs without it getting immediately copyright claimed by the company. I wish we could do that. But those are my thoughts on the matter. What do you guys, like, I can't think of another example of, like, a celebrity going through this, but fake GoFundMes or, like, fraudulent things, they're rampant.
That's nothing new. That happens all. What was there one? Basically, any crisis that happens is just a cesspool of just fraud.
Well, if you're in the political sphere, it's somebody says the N-word and then has a GoFundMe raised.
Well, the lady, what was the one in she was behind at the Cinnabon or something like that. Was that was?
Oh, and the Shiloh lady, the GoFundMe.
That one, the one with the park. Yep.
Now I don't know if he didn't have a GoFundMe, but Richard Dreyfuss, didn't he also have like financial issues? And
doesn't he have cancer or something like that, or he did?
Oh no, didn't we talk James Vanderbeek on here?
Oh
yeah. James Vanderbeek. I mean, that wasn't a GoFundMe, but he was selling stuff. But that ended up being revealed that wasn't to do with his cancer treatments, and people thought that he looked really, really unhealthy in the last video that they did, because they did like a Dawson's Creek reunion, and he was looking really sickly. But apparently that wasn't because of the cancer. Apparently he had he was really, really sick at that time, and it wasn't anything to do with the cancer. But this is true. So one of the things I thought most interesting was they're like, the industry abandoned him, and they said the same thing of James Vanderbeek. It's like you're trying to make corporations behave like human beings, and I think one of the hardest things for some people to do is to accept that the world isn't going to behave the way that you want it to. And Mickey Rourke doesn't seem to have that problem. He seems to understand that whatever problems he has, and maybe it's because of his own ego or his own vanity, which is, not necessarily a bad thing. You do need a certain level of ego to be successful in Hollywood. He doesn't want to live by the grace or the charity of others. But a lot of people these days do believe that the system, like in quotes, is supposed to somehow be there for you. And it's a utopian view of the world that isn't really accurate.
Time moves on, and if you are, especially in Hollywood, if you are not the it or that hot factor that you used to be, they will, unless you really, throw a Hail Mary, if you will, like, they'll go up. They'll go to the next hotness.
They'll abandon you.
Like Henry Cavill. Like, he was the hotness. He still is. He's still Henry Cavill, but he's not Henry Cavill of, 5-10 years ago.
I mean, I don't even know
The
if
Witcher.
he was ever really like that. Like
Not
Henry
like
Cavill,
Mickey Rourke, but you know what I mean? Like
Henry Cavill was a very big star in the sense that he was good alongside other really, really big actors.
he was Superman.
But like Batman versus Superman made more money than Man of Steel. I'm not saying he
Fair,
was bad
fair.
in the
Okay,
role, but
touche.
like he was more successful alongside Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And that's just my personal opinion. Or even like my favorite example would be more Mission Impossible. He was
Fair.
great alongside Tom Cruise, and he kind of excelled more there. In The Witcher, he didn't really have anybody to help him because the people making it didn't seem to want it to do well.
They didn't want him in it.
No.
And then they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But he was great.
but you are correct. I mean, that conversation tends to happen more around the women in Hollywood,
Yeah.
where they feel like they get chewed up and disposed of, mainly because for women in Hollywood, your peak years to make money come earlier, and it's a shorter period of time. And I do believe that, although it's not necessarily true to the same extent that it used to be, it is still generally kind of true when you're talking about the big blockbuster movies. But now they go out of their way to write roles for people of all age demographics. I know Michelle Yeoh still complains that she doesn't get the roles that she wants, even though she's more famous now than she ever was in like the early years of her career when she was a Bond girl. I mean, she was big at that time, but
Michelle
she's
Yeoh?
just as big now. She's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, that's
She
a new
was
movie, yeah. No,
Wei Lin in Tomorrow
yeah.
Never Dies.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the other element of all this is that, being in Hollywood, the money is inconsistent.
Yeah, that's true.
And actors probably don't have the best guidance possibly when it comes to like
A lot of the time.
taking care of their finances.
well, and like you've
I'm-
got to pay your manager, you've got to pay your agent.
Yeah.
They
There-
live, and I mean, I feel like that's more a conversation people have about athletes.
Sure.
I think they go hand in hand. There was a new Charlie Day movie, maybe not new, but new to me, where he was this homeless guy that looked like a movie star, and then he ends up being like supplanted, like roles reversed, and like this is your agent, you're gonna pay them 10%, and then this is your PR guy, they're 10%, and then this guy 10%, and he's just sitting there like, whoa. But it's the same. I'm a very strong advocate for financial literacy,
Yeah.
and how they should be teaching it throughout grade schools.
Well, and that's
And-
the thing, though. If you're an actor, you're more on the creative side, so you have to hire people to do that for you.
And
And
a
if
lot
you
of
don't
times
really
they
know
get got. They get,
Right.
they,
But
they
if you
don't hire
learned
the
in
right
school,
people.
at least you know a little bit if you were getting screwed.
I would have loved for them to explain like taxes.
Well,
and
we can go down that
and
tangent.
mortgage rates
Mhm.
and what interest payments
you
were.
bring back home economics.
Yeah.
You'll be poor and you'll own nothing and like it.
I would love to see more actors come out and be able to talk about this stuff, but when they do, it tends to be on the back end after they've had those problems. Maybe we do live in an age now where you're like there's so much information at your fingertips, and I feel like people are more literate about these things now than they would have been 20
For sure.
30 years ago.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, ChatGPT will explain anything in 10 seconds. And then you'll be like, okay, then explain it like I'm 5. Got it. But I think the real, sniff test is Mickey Rourke did the reality show. And whenever a celebrity does a reality show, that means they're down bad.
Yeah, and he got kicked out too.
Yeah,
Was
but
that
he,
the one? Was he the one with JoJo Siwa?
yeah,
Is
Yes.
that the drama?
he's the one that
Okay.
he's the one that fixed JoJo Siwa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He
So
made her straight.
The other thing that they said about this was basically like the good thing that has come of this is that he's gotten like 4 or 5 movie role offers.
That's great.
Has he?
Just based on
Oh, I mean-
what's going on with the story has put him back into the news, which means he's now once again
Relevant.
hireable and relevant.
Well, the PR person that made this whole GoFundMe gets a raise. If you're asking me, he gets a nice bonus.
So hopefully Kimberly actually gets paid for doing
no, it's
her job.
the assistant. She's
Can
the
they?
one.
Can you give money back from GoFundMe?
I don't know how that works. If it's just refunded, if
There's a way
if they
to
decide
do it,
not
I
to
think.
do
I've
it.
never
Could have
done
at least
that.
said, "Well, then donate it to something else."
Yeah.
That won't end up there.
All right. So, hopefully Mickey figures it out. We want him to figure it out. All right, guys. Let's move on. So, Disney's been down bad recently. They had a fantastic year finishing off at the box office with both Avatar and Zootopia. But I just did a story about a week ago about a young Broadway actress who was at one point on The Lion King on Broadway who was murdered. And then there's all of these stories going around where it just seems like people are dying left and right at Disney World. And the Disney parks. 6 deaths in under 3 months. The most recent story, there has been no name given. They were found in the Disney Springs Shopping Center. It's being investigated as a suicide. 3 of those 6 deaths are listed as suicide. So there is the most recent one that I just mentioned where there's no name attached. Then October 14th, Summer Equitz, age 31, was attributed to suicide. And then just like a week later, on October 23rd, Matthew Alex Cohen, age 28, also attributed to suicide. So this is the story. It's from Breitbart. I'm going to put it up here for everybody. Sixth dead body found at Disney World in less than 3 months. A 6th person has died at Disney World in less than 3 months. The body was found just 1 day after New Year's Day, with the discovery coming after a series of deaths have rocked the most magical place on Earth. Police said the body was found around 9 p.m. on Friday night at Disney Springs, a shopping center at the Walt Disney World property in Florida, which it does seem to be happening there and not at Disneyland.
But why Disney Springs of all places?
So it says deputies responded to Disney Springs Orange Garage at the East Buena Vista Drive and discovered a man who was deceased, said the Orange County Sheriff's Office. This incident is being investigated as a possible suicide, the sheriff added. We have no additional information to release at this time and have no further updates through the weekend. While Friday Disney's Disney World death, excuse me, here we go. While Friday's Disney World death, I got it right that time. The discovery was the first of 2026. It is the 6th dead body to happen at the amusement park since October. On October 14th, a 31-year-old resident, Summer Equitz, was found dead from an apparent suicide at Disney World's Contemporary Resort. On October 21st, a man in his 60s suffered a medical episode at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, with authorities saying he was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Sometimes they talk about how they won't pronounce at the scene because they want to be able to say in the press releases that they didn't die on the property.
Yikes.
2 days later, on October 23rd, aspiring football referee, 28-year-old Matthew Alec Cohen, I think I said Alex earlier. Alec Cohen reportedly committed suicide while he leapt from the 12th story of a Disney hotel at the Contemporary Resort. This was followed by a death of a woman in her 40s on November 2nd. She was found unresponsive at Disney's Pop Century Resort before later being pronounced dead. Then on November 8th, an unidentified guest was found dead at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort in Lake Buena Vista near Disney Springs. So.
Wow.
That's a lot to happen. I think what I was reading earlier was that they usually average 1 to 2 deaths a year, which when you think about the sheer amount of foot traffic that happen at these locations isn't actually a whole lot, but 6 in just a short period of time is a lot. And then there was this story about a wrongful death suit that has just been filed against Disney. Kevin Duncan, a 42-year-old father from Ocala, was in Orlando in June while attending his daughter's dance competition. Like many families traveling during youth sports events or performances, dinner was part of the routine. Duncan and a large group of relatives and a friend chose the Boathouse, a high-profile Disney Springs restaurant known for steaks, seafood, and its scenic waterfront setting. According to a lawsuit filed by Morgan & Morgan on behalf of Duncan's mother, Rhea Duncan, the evening took a turn when Duncan began choking on a piece of steak at the table. Family members and friends immediately tried to help. They attempted the Heimlich maneuver while waiting for assistance, but the situation quickly escalated. The lawsuit is claiming that the staff did not call 911 right away.
What?
The core allegation in the lawsuit centers on what happens next. I'll put it back here. Instead, it says, according to the complaint, restaurant staff did not immediately call 911. Instead, employees reportedly contacted on-site security first, delaying the arrival of emergency services per Florida politics. By the time first responders reached the restaurant, emergency medical personnel later noted that Duncan had been unresponsive for about 25 minutes.
25
He
minutes?
was transported to Advent Health Celebration, where he remained hospitalized. 2 days later, on June 9th, Duncan died after suffering a severe brain injury caused by lack of oxygen.
Jeez.
The Orange County medical examiner signed the death certificate, but did not perform an autopsy.
What?
So
why didn't they perform an autopsy? Did the family not request it? Or?
I mean, I don't know if that. I mean, it wouldn't matter. Like they would
choked on a steak. That's what
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Attorneys question the emergency preparedness. In a statement following the filing, Morgan & Morgan founder John Morgan and attorney Edward Combs said the family is seeking answers about how the situation was handled. They questioned what safety protocols were in place, whether staff were properly trained to respond to choking emergencies, and whether delays contributed to Duncan's death. I imagine that that's the most important part there is like, if you work at Disney, you go through extensive training for these types of things. But if their first responsibility is to the park, they're going to call on-site security first. And the delay between on-site security getting there and then calling 911, they believe might have played a role. I don't know whether that even is true or not, but you can see where the lawsuit would be coming from.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes for security to get there, then couple minutes for them to be like, oh, we got to call an ambulance, another 5-10 minutes, and then they get there, and then the mouse has got his hands full this year.
Yep. We've got a $20 super chat here from the Pop Culture Junkie. Says, I dated a PR person for Disney World in the early 80s.
Nice.
She told me many stories of the company covering up accidental deaths and bad injuries at the park. Lots of big checks and NDAs. Not anymore.
That was back in the day. Things have
I wonder
changed.
if no, I don't. I mean, it's not like Disney doesn't have more money now even than they did then. Like, I can imagine that they can afford to cover up these types of things.
Well, I was doing more so in the sense of that before in the 80s, you didn't have a camera everywhere you go.
Yeah,
like
now, harder to.
So it's harder to cover things up now because if you're just walking with little Timmy and you, oh, mommy, what's that? And bang, there it is. You can't really hide that.
It is true. Like these days, it's like I watch a movie. I'm like, how would you even avoid getting caught on camera doing something like that these days? Like everything is
CCTVs everywhere.
Everywhere, right? It's just. For Disney, it's one of those things where it's like a rounding error. They have so much money and so much capital that these things end up being a rounding error. I think what did I end up seeing here?
What's $1 million settlement case?
Yeah, like for a company like Disney, when they get hundreds of millions of people in the parks,
they
and
make
stuff
that in
like
a minute.
Well, that's why you're going to spend a lot of money on tickets and hotels.
Yeah,
and
I've been a lot, so
it's more expensive than ever to go to Disney. Like they've priced out the middle class.
I think day pass just to go to the park is what, like $400, $300 to $400, and that's just for an adult. So
you
if
go?
I have been to Disney more than I care to admit on the show. I'm not going to say.
Wait, why? Why more than you care to admit?
Because I don't want to be roasted.
Charles.
I don't want to. I am not a Disney adult.
You are.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've been a lot. I've been like 20 times.
It is the most magical place.
20. It is. I've been like
really
20,
is.
25 times through my whole life. The most recent was on my birthday, and I went to Epcot. We had a drink around the world,
Nice.
and then that was awesome. And then you go on the test track, and you're in the car, and that is an experience to stop you from driving and drinking.
You ever watch plus size park hoppers?
I've seen them. They're gross. I fat shame them. But I do understand, like the elderly person that passed away.
Yeah.
If he didn't use the little go-kart thing, there's a lot of walking if you're trying to get all those rides. But I mean.
How do you feel about Disney adults?
They're the worst. They're terrible.
One of the most important parts of this show?
Shaming.
Honestly, so I am very much the live and let live type of person. And what this job challenges me to every day is like, just how live and let live are you?
I mean, if you can afford it and it's your thing, go for it.
I saw a thing the other day on Twitter or something like that, and there was like a 40-minute line to see Buzz Lightyear and get a picture with him, and it was full of Disney adults.
Were there any kids?
No kids. They did not have children. I mean, there were kids, but there was more Disney adults. And I say, shame those people. If I'm there, if I'm in Disney, right, say me and my wife, we're just going there, nice little holiday, and I run into Mickey just walking. I'm like, oh, Mickey, selfie, ba-bang. That's okay. But I'm not going to stand in line for 40 minutes or an hour to get a picture with Buzz Lightyear, who is kind of a B-list Disney character compared to Mickey and Goofy and all that.
I don't know if I buy that.
I don't buy that either.
I don't think he's.
I think my kids would absolutely want to see Buzz.
The kids. But as an adult, I'm going for the A-list. I'm going for Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Daffy.
I don't know if I consider Buzz Lightyear a B-list Disney character.
No.
Hot take.
That's not that might be the hottest take we're gonna have on here today. I don't know if I would consider. I mean, maybe in the sense that he's an acquired character, meaning they bought Pixar. Yeah. So it's not the same thing.
Not OG.
It's not like OG Mickey.
That's kind of where I'm at. But I like Disney for the rides. I'm a roller coaster. I love roller coasters.
You like roller coasters?
Not anymore. as I got older.
Wait, what does that mean?
Wait, what happened?
No, I get vertigo. I get
okay.
like nauseous.
I mean, those were some of the stories you would hear about the deaths at the park were people who died on the rides, either because they didn't pay attention to the safety instructions,
Sure.
or they didn't realize their heart
Can't handle it.
can't handle it.
Yeah.
But the lines are really exhausting.
Well, now they have the fast pass, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, like, I don't know. Disney adults, I hate them. They're just so gross.
I mean, they don't bother me. I mean, what do they? I mean,
No, they do
okay,
because they're on the internet and they're terrible.
That is the question, right? Like, so if you don't have a job like this, which requires you to kind of read up on what everybody's doing, and then you're forced to know about plus size park hoppers or the Disney adults, or worse, the Disney dating app at that one point. If you guys remember that.
Wait, what?
yeah, but how does that affect your life?
Okay.
I mean, okay,
so
the
that-
libertarianism in me agrees, but I also say gross.
Yeah. So the thing is, the show ceases to exist if every day I'm like, and then these people did this. Like, have you seen the videos where they're like, it's like they're basically shaming the system if like they can't fit into the rides?
Yeah,
because
you
it's
don't,
like,
you don't belong on the ride. That happened to my father
So
once.
so to me, like, if I wasn't doing the show, I'd be like, you know what, whatever, live and let live. If you want to
let's
sue
talk about it.
Disney because you're a fat piece of shit, that's your business.
Yeah.
But I can't do that because then the show would
Fair
be
enough.
over in
But
2
there's no
minutes every
clicks.
day.
There's
I
no
think
views.
one of the stories you guys covered about Disney that was interesting were the women that have the reborn dolls and they bring them to
Wait, what?
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reborn dolls.
Is that like the Miss
You have to
America
explain.
thing?
You
the
have to
little
explain
kinda-
to him what those are.
I don't. They're dolls.
Yeah, they're
they
like-
look real, and
Like a sex
women.
toy?
No,
No.
it's a doll, like a baby.
Well, they are too.
It's like a
Those
baby.
are dolls too.
Well, no,
Okay.
it's a baby. It's
Oh,
a baby doll.
A baby doll.
It's a baby doll,
Okay,
sorry.
excuse me. Sorry.
And
That's
these-
why. That's why she was a pulse.
Sorry.
I didn't know it was a baby doll. I thought it was like a little.
Okay.
No, they bring these baby dolls
Okay.
to
Yes.
Disney, and they walk around with them. It's
As if
it's like
they're a parent.
yes.
Well, that's.
And
Fucking
weren't some of them
Pardon my
using them
French.
to get through a fast pass too? Maybe.
See, that's even worse. That's like those people who put the mannequin in the passenger seat of their
Yeah.
car so they can take
The HOV lane?
carpool lane to
Yeah.
get into DC faster.
Yeah.
Right? I never did that, but I saw a guy who did that once. Like, not here in Minnesota.
Did you? I mean, I'd be like, all right, that was smooth. But then you see him get pulled over and you laugh at him.
Yeah, like, what does he do? Like, he gets pulled over and he's like, look, dude, I
You
I
got
gotta
I
me.
get
feel
out."
like I have
I'd just be like, you
a
got me.
mental,
You
a
got
mental
me, man.
issue.
Well, then what it is, it's like, what's the fine? So basically, it's like everything's legal for a price.
Probably like $300.
Well, can you even? This was a question when I did have like when my baby was a baby like in a car seat. Does that count in carpool?
I bet
It's
he
a-
does. Right?
Mate,
It's a good question.
you
I
find
don't know.
out. You-
I think it does.
I mean, like, be like, I got two in the back. Let's,
Gotta go,
if you pull
Gotta
me
get
over,
somewhere.
he'd be like, all right, well, that doesn't count. Here's a warning. And then you get a warning, and then you know.
and then sure.
But
Has there? So have you seen any Disney movies lately? So Mary did a review yesterday for Zootopia 2. She didn't think very much of it, but it's now like the highest-grossing Disney animated movie of all time.
I've
over
never seen-
$1.5 billion. Which
Wow.
is
How many?
Insane. 1.5 billion. It's higher than that now, but
good
like
day.
over 600 million of that comes from China.
Well, to be fair,
Money's money.
as someone who has two children that are 4 and 5 years old, there's not a lot of movies for kids. Like if we want to go to the movies, even just once a month, like you're lucky if there's something out. So it makes sense that a movie like Zootopia would do well because we're desperate to take our kids to go see a movie.
Just take him to see Minecraft.
Yeah, no, I would not take them to see that. But you
Jack Black band.
they're too
from-
young.
yeah, too young for that. They wouldn't have the
young.
attention span for it.
What was the last movie you took him to?
Oh God. It wasn't Dog Man, but it's the last thing I can think of. We saw a bunch of movies over the summer because Regal has $1 movies.
That's good.
I'm
That's
like,
a good deal.
yeah, so we've seen a bit like Trolls. We saw Sonic.
Trolls, I heard, was good.
Sonic 1 and 2 were good.
They're just okay.
I mean,
but
good
my
enough for kids. I'm saying good for kids.
Yeah, it's fine.
What
A Wild Robot is a great movie. That's Disney too, right? Wild Robot.
I don't think so.
It's not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You can somebody can look that up. I'm going to get fact checked in the
Fact
comments
check us,
immediately.
please.
A brutal fact check. I don't know who made that one, but a
don't
lot of
think-
people really
It's
like
not
that
a
one.
Disney. That's
Okay.
right. It's
I don't
DreamWorks.
think
I was right.
Okay, you were right.
I think I've seen a
but
Disney movie.
we are hardcore Toy Story people in my house. We watch it
Well,
almost
we're
every
going
day.
to talk about it later. 'cause
Little
Toy Story
Buzz.
5.
You watch Little Buzz?
No, those are kind of silly.
You don't like those? You don't like Little Buzz?
Like the straight movies.
Okay, gotcha. There's
Even Lightyear.
Did you see Lightyear?
Yeah, not good. Not good.
I mean, that's what everybody was saying because it didn't make any money, but Toy
and
Story
it also
4
is
did.
not Buzz. It's like not really Buzz, you know.
My
It's not
favorite
Tim
meme
Allen?
was the
Right.
one that said like this version of Buzz Lightyear looks like a cop who turns the body camera off because
Yeah.
he's got the high and tight fade.
Yep.
He does. He looks like a cop who might pull you over and pull out the nightstick.
Yeah.
Look, for Disney right now, the weird thing is these stories, it's not going to move the needle for Disney PR wise. Honestly, this isn't going to hurt them at all, but it is a wild number to look at when you think of how few deaths there seem to be there, that there's now this spike all at one time, all in one general location.
Now remind
6
me,
is a huge spike.
were they saying they're all suicide or only
No,
a
no.
some of them. Three of them are
them.
suicide.
And one was the choking on the
one was a
stage.
choke. One.
The
was
rest of them
two,
were medical
Two were old
emergencies.
people that probably passed away.
Well, yeah, and yeah.
But
Okay.
eventually, people are gonna be
Technically
like-
off Disney property, even though it was there.
Again, that's the scam, right? It's like you transport them to a local medical facility and then they're pronounced dead there so they can claim that they didn't die on the property.
Fudging the
even though-
data.
But speaking of Disney adults, it kind of makes sense that people would commit suicide there. Like it's
Why?
like the happiest place on earth, and it's.
But
that's
it's
the end of
Disney
it.
Springs. It's not even Magic Kingdom. It's like the
Well,
shopping mall.
I don't know. I don't know the layout of the land over
I
there.
know,
but
but
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
saying-
like, they want to go and have a great experience, and then that's it.
I know, I agree. But if it was a Magic Kingdom, I'd be like, all right, after the Tower of Terror, then, irony.
There's there's a lot of precedents for people going to specific locations. I mean, I was telling him earlier, but there's a term in New York called suicide tourism, where people would go to New York, and the same thing is true. If anybody ever saw the 2007 documentary called The Bridge, and it was about all of the people who go to the Golden Gate Bridge just to commit suicide. And since that documentary was made, now they have the nets there to prevent people from jumping off. Right?
Now
Like,
people
yeah.
just go to Canada.
for that's so depressing.
Sorry.
But you're right. Like if people associated happy memories with Disney and they want to, they're that depressed, they're that sad, they have that little that they feel that they have to live for, they may go someplace that reminds them of better times. And that might even be kind of, in a way, representative of why nostalgia is such a dangerous thing these days, because people are always looking to go back to a time in their life where they felt like everything made more sense, where they had more to live for. And that's why nostalgia can sometimes have a very, very dark side to it.
Those member berries, they're delicious and they hit hard. They're good stuff. But like, as I said, like the 3 suicides were in Disney Springs.
I mean, they were all over. Like, different areas, yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just
Maybe
seems-
there's some sort of
I think there's a serial killer out there.
working on Inverted World, there must be some sort of like portal that's happening over there.
That must
Ooh.
be, I mean, those are both kind of inverted world ideas. One, it's either a portal, or 2, there's a serial killer stalking people in Disney.
Well, and I can't remember exactly, but we did have an episode on Inverted World where there's this guy that did animation for Disney said that there are like all these conspiracies about Disney are pretty much
Was it
true.
Tom Bancroft?
Oh, I can't remember.
I did an episode of The Culture War with Tom Bancroft, who was an original Disney animator.
It,
Oh,
might,
really?
it might have been him, but he does talk about the tunnels, like that's like a real thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But anyway,
American Dad did a good bit. Do you remember the theme park episode where the theme park gets locked down and there's 4 different factions? There's Roger in the space one,
Okay.
Stan's in the Wild West, Haley's in like the Amazon woman, and Steve's in like the children's section.
Okay.
And the character is the Walt Disney character. He becomes unfrozen, and he just has them fight over each other because everything's changed, and he's the old 1950s bigot. So he's like, they have to fight for it. It's a whole thing. It's actually a good satire of Disney World. It's perfect.
All right, so we're going to do some cute of the day. No cringe, because Mary wouldn't do cute when I was out of town. So I will just do cute of the day. So
Only
we're going to do 2 today
cute.
for everybody to see. The first one here, I think we had a super chat from Rico Cantrell, so it is his day today. This is from Rico Cantrell. It says, imagine being so tired you don't notice the cookie on your head.
oh,
There's a cookie there. Look at that.
I also picked Rico for today specifically because yesterday somebody was alleging a cat bias on our channel, that we do more cats than dogs, and they are right. But it is
But
not
you
bias.
like cats.
I like dogs and cats.
but you have cats.
We have cats.
My cat actually started liking me. I don't know why.
Me
All of a
too.
sudden, she's just like,
Wait, it didn't like you before?
she hated me. absolutely hated me.
Why? Wait,
I don't know why.
was it yours or your wife's?
They
cat?
say that
It was ours.
You got it together?
Technically. Like
Okay.
the neighbor upstairs came down, said, we have to put this in a foster care. Do you want it? And my wife's like, let me ask my husband. And I was like, so we're getting a cat. And then we have a cat. And the cat loves her, hates me. Now it likes me.
they say that cats go to the human that matches their energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm a dog
'cause
person.
I am a bright ray of sunshine. I am a bright ray of sunshine, and the cat that gravitates towards me and our family is Chloe, who is not a bright ray of sunshine.
Maybe she is deep down.
I hope so. I mean, she's more like kind of mean and standoffish.
That's
and,
my cat.
And she's unbelievably.
Lick my hands.
She's not a huge fan of women. I love women. I love my wife.
Yeah.
I love my
Well,
wife.
that's why she's jealous.
So thank you, Rico, for the. It doesn't list the name though, but thank you. Usually they tell me the name of the puppy. All right, and this one from Shali, because we're gonna go 1 for 1 here. We believe in equity here on Pop Culture Crisis. Shali says, "My boy Charlie, my Charlie boy, snuggling as if he didn't act
Me?
like a maniac at 4 in the morning."
Me?
Well, that's how they get into that phase, by being so. Toast, one of our other cats, after we feed them before we go to bed, usually about 1:30 or 2 in the morning, she eats and then goes absolutely crazy for 10 minutes and then passes out.
That's hilarious.
Sometimes
Is
I
there
wish I
like
could do
catnip
that.
in the food?
No.
My cat will do that. She'll just run around. All of a sudden, I'll be sitting there. The other night, she jumped on. We have like a little thing, like a headboard. She jumped on top. And I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like half asleep. And then she just jumped on my chest and ran. I was like, oh.
They're so fun.
Do you guys have?
I'm a
Yeah,
dog.
we have a cat, and she'll come in at like 4 a.m. and just start beating, like on my.
Just making biscuits.
Yeah, just making biscuits.
I'm a dog person, though. I like dogs.
I have
So
a dog and cat.
for us, Toast comes in and sleeps right by Olivia, and then Chloe comes in and just sleeps on top of me.
Nice.
Just gets on my back and sleeps on my back, so I become basically like a bed.
Who needs
for
a
Chloe.
personal bubble?
Seriously, right?
Love it.
All right, let's move on. We have a bunch more stuff to get into today. As always, I do want to remind you guys, if you are watching, please hit the like button on this video. I'm horrible at that. It's one of the things I should be saying more. One of the best ways you can help us out in the algorithm is to like the videos and to share them out and comment on them. All of those things, all of that engagement tells YouTube or Rumble that you like this content and you want to see more of it. So go ahead and hit the like button on this video, guys.
Gently, please.
Gently, please. Yes.
Don't smash it.
Tim
Gently hit it.
Tim would say smash the like button. I always said very gently,
Gently.
very calmly,
You don't want to break it.
hit the like
Because
button.
then nobody else can play. Can't talk. Then nobody else can press it. Thank
Exactly.
you. There we go.
All right.
We got there.
Let's move on, guys. So there has been a lot of speculation ever since Daniel Craig finished his run as James Bond. I personally, Casino Royale is one of my favorite James Bond movies. The latter ones in the franchise, less so, especially after, what was it? Not Spectre, but the one before Spectre, Skyfall. I really liked Skyfall. I really liked Casino Royale. I actually tolerated more than most Quantum of Solace. Didn't care much for Spectre and didn't care much for the last film in the franchise. But ever since that ended, we have since seen the character of James Bond move over to Amazon because they got Amazon purchased him because they bought MGM. And now we've got Denis Villeneuve, who will be directing the upcoming James Bond movie. And there's been all sorts of speculation about who will play the character. The most consistent, like, high running option was Aaron Taylor Johnson. People really thought Aaron Taylor Johnson was going to be James Bond. My long shot odds pick was Regé Jean Page. I really did think that they were going to race swap James Bond. Perhaps if they had switched the character in 2021 or 2022, that may have been what happened. But now what it looks like is that actor Callum Turner, he is most known for the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them franchise, the Harry Potter spinoffs. He is looking to be the next James Bond, and they're claiming that in a very unspy-like fashion, he is going about town and blabbing about how he is going to be the next James Bond. Apparently, he is engaged to Dua Lipa, who will be possibly, they're saying, according to the Daily Mail, will be writing the next theme song for James Bond. And the reason why this got a whole bunch more like traction is because both him and her went on vacation to Goldeneye, which is Ian Fleming's estate in Jamaica. It's not just a movie, obviously, funnily enough.
Oh, really?
It's not just GoldenEye the movie. It was what his estate was named. So that's
I
where it
didn't know
comes from.
that.
So it says, this is from Cosmic Book News, guys. It's being claimed that Callum Turner has landed the role of James Bond, with it further claimed that the actor has already been telling his friends that the job is his. The report comes via the Daily Mail, which adds that Turner's fiancée, Dua Lipa, is also being eyed to write and perform the Bond theme. According to the outlet, casting is now the worst-kept secret going. And that Callum Turner, they told the Daily Mail, sources told the Daily Mail on Sunday that the Fantastic Beasts and Masters of the Air star believes the deal is done. He's been blabbing all over town that Callum is the new Bond. It's been confirmed. Everyone in his circle is talking about it, a source claimed. Callum Turner, age 35, has become the odds-on favorite, overtaking the likes of Aaron Taylor-Johnson, James Norton, and Idris Elba. The rumors intensified after Turner and Dua Lipa were spotted vacationing at GoldenEye in Jamaica, the former estate of Bond creator Ian Fleming. Dua Lipa is also being eyed to do the Bond theme. If Turner officially takes over the role, Amazon may be looking to make it a 2-for-1 deal. It's claiming that Dua Lipa wants to record the new Bond theme. Well, of course she does. She'll make a ton of money. I love it when they do that. It's like when actors come out and they're like, I really want to play Magneto, or I really want to play Batman. It's like, well, of course you do. You want to make a bunch of money.
A big franchise.
Like, or the other thing that they do is they say they want to play a more obscure character because they think it gives them bona fides within the community. My favorite being, and though I probably believe it, was how who was the guy from It Ends With Us? Sterling K. Brown was like, wanted to play John, like the Green Lantern, John Stewart, which I actually would have supported and think would have been great if they had cast him to do that. I think he costs too much now. They wouldn't have been able to get him to do it for like the HBO Max series. But that always felt like, he's like, look at me. I know the not Hal Jordan Green Lantern. You should hire me to do this job.
I think it's more so, and maybe I'm cynical, but I think they're looking for spin-off opportunities, What
do you mean?
If you're playing a more obscure character, say at Avengers, you're playing a lower kind of superhero, and you do well, and you'd be like, oh, but you can do this other movie spin-off, like kind of Ant-Man, Yeah. So like, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, and then they make an Ant-Man whole thing,
So Callum Turner is 35, which means that if all goes according to plan and it goes into production in the next year, 2 at the latest, that would put him at age roughly 36 or 37. One of my biggest complaints whenever we have the James Bond discussion is around the age of the actors, because a lot of people still want to see Henry Cavill play James Bond. They would really, really like that. In fact, I saw this tweet the other day.
I'd be okay with that.
This is from someone on Twitter, said, Casino Royale director admits Henry Cavill was tremendous in his audition for James Bond. He auditioned in 2005 or whenever it was, before Daniel Craig. It was probably 2004, honestly, because it came out in 2006.
And that's before he was really big.
Yeah. If Daniel Craig didn't exist, Henry would have made an excellent James Bond. So we look at Henry Cavill now. Henry Cavill right now is 42 years old. So he could still theoretically do this. He's 42 or 43. He's born in 1983. Somebody can do the math for me on that. So Daniel Craig was 38 when he got hired to play James Bond. Sean Connery was 32. I believe he's like the youngest next to Lazenby, who I think was 29 when he got hired, or when the movie came out. And of course, Pierce Brosnan was 42, which puts him at about the same age as Henry Cavill. And he kind of has the same story because Henry Cavill, would have wanted to play him, but then got hired to play Superman for a long period of time. He could come back to it. Pierce Brosnan was originally supposed to be James Bond, but he couldn't get out of his Remington Steele contract because he was playing Remington Steele on television. And then by the time it got done, they had already hired Pierce. I forget who it was that they hired in the interim. And then Pierce Brosnan got that after that run, after the show ended.
I used to know all the Bond actors, but now I just know Connery, Daniel Craig,
Dalton, Lazenby,
Pierce Brosnan.
Lazenby is I forget about him.
Yep.
But Pierce
I'm
Brosnan.
going with Timothy Chalamet.
No. Idris Elba.
Not because I love him. I'm just saying he's in everything. He's a new Zendaya.
He was great in Marty Supreme. We're not going to should say too hard from there, but I think Idris Elba would have been a good bet. How old's Idris?
He's in his 50s.
He's a little too old. That's a short run.
So some people suggested perhaps a one-off, like an old man Bond one-off with him. But they've also said the same thing about trying to get Pierce Brosnan to come back for an old man Bond.
What about Ryan Gosling?
I don't think they will ever have an American Bond.
He's only British.
Right.
I believe at one point Mel Gibson almost got hired to play James Bond. Somebody can fact check me on that.
Imagine Mel Gibson as James Bond.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
That'd be
Tom Hardy.
He's
too beefy.
No, see the United States has Mission Impossible. England has James Bond. You know, it's kind of the thing.
So these were the ages of the actors as they came to be the character. Sean Connery was 32 in his first, 41 in his last. George Lazenby was 29. Roger Moore was 45, ended it as 57. Timothy Dalton was 41. So you get the point there. Like, about the early 40s is like your sweet spot there, because for the most part, you're gonna try to hope to get somebody to sign on for multiple movies, so you're not gonna want somebody who's necessarily too old. So my point was, I used to think that Henry Cavill was too old. I'm gonna walk back my previous statements, given what I'm looking at now, and the fact that people generally look younger now, anyways, than they did when, say, Roger Moore or Sean Connery. You ever see those memes where it's like, this is what Danny Glover looked like when he said, "I'm sick of this shit" in Lethal Weapon. He was like 39. He looked like he was in his 50s.
Yep.
Like,
have you seen the college football ones? Like freshman college football
I saw the
player?
dude recently. The guy's already like got a bald spot.
They show like a lineup of like college football players from 1985, and it's just these dudes that look like they're 40 or 50, but they're 18-year-olds, and they're like college football players now, freshman players now, and they're like 10.
But baseball players were like that too.
Same thing. It's something in the water.
They had the weathered face back then. Why do you think that was?
They didn't appreciate sunscreen back then.
But I'm gonna walk back my claims. I used to think that Henry Cavill was too old because they always wanted him to sign on for multiple movies. But he'd be a little bit on the older side. But if they were to get it going right now, he would be the Roger Moore age by the time the first one got done. And I think Henry Cavill has a lot of goodwill, both with the general public, because a lot of people liked him as Superman, even if they didn't necessarily care for Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman or Man of Steel. I think a lot of people like Henry Cavill. I don't think he is the box office, like, titan that people think he is. I think that Superman was successful because it was Superman, if that makes sense.
Well, what's
to
bringing
me.
in for James Bond? Is it the James Bond franchise itself, or is it the actor that's playing it?
But I mean, Callum, he doesn't. Would you say he's a bigger box star?
I have no idea who
Henry
that
Cavill?
guy is.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So like,
well, that's the thing. A lot of times they want a lesser known actor because you want the character to take center stage.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Craig was already a star in 2004 when he got hired, but not obviously to the extent his star exploded after that.
They say that Sean Connery and Daniel Craig are the best James Bonds.
Sean Connery and Roger Moore are probably the best. And
I think it's. I'm going to give you the postmodern answer. I think it's whoever you grew up with.
Yeah, that's true.
which would be Pierce Brosnan.
Which was Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce
So
Brosnan
I
for
think we have a story. I don't know if we would tee that up
Yeah.
right now, but I want to hear.
No,
it. Remember her Pierce Brosnan
yes,
story?
go for it.
Yes.
I am so glad you are here. Too. Go for
Yeah,
it.
I got you.
I did tell Brett this story when you guys were talking about this at one point, but when I was bartender years ago in Austin, Texas, and it must have been like South by Southwest Film Festival, and Pierce Brosnan came in with one other guy. He sat down in the main dining room, and there were two women at the bar, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's
That's James Bond.
007."
That's
They-
00.
And they wanted me to make a martini,
Shaken,
Shaken but not
shaken, not stirred,
stirred.
and to bring it over to him. And I was like, "Sure, I'll do that. It's Pierce Brosnan, of course." He was not happy with that.
He wasn't thrilled.
He was not thrilled. He didn't.
Does he not drink?
He must not drink. I mean, it could have been the time of day. I don't know. Maybe it just happens all the time.
It definitely does.
It's got to just happen all the
But
time.
I'm sorry, you have to embrace that.
No.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
hey,
If a
free
hot
drink.
chick comes over to you with a martini,
Were they
you
hot?
embrace
But the
that.
thing is,
Well, you
Well,
were
it
hot.
was me.
No, I thought you were saying. I was.
he has been.
Yes,
has been
you are.
married.
My bad. I bet the people ordering it. I
I'm
was
kidding,
thinking.
but I was just saying.
You got
like,
me there. I
He
fell
has
into
been
that
married for a long time.
True.
Like his first wife died young.
Okay.
And then he remarried and he's been married. She's actually he's a subject. Pierce Brosnan is a subject of a lot of online debate because he's looked roughly the same for the last 30 years size wise, and his wife got bigger, but he still loves her, and that's kind of a heartwarming story, right? And a lot of people, red pill dudes, use that as an example of men shouldn't get married and bullshit like that.
No.
So maybe he's just angry because all that he's married, he loves his wife, and women are out here
Well, I did tell
him-
you that he is on the shorter side, but then you Googled it and it said that he's 6'1", and I said that is a
or
lie,
6'2".
or 6'2", or 6 foot. So I think that's a lie.
It's kind of like a Tinder profile. Like I feel like with those Hollywood, bio,
He's a mean
stats.
shorty, okay?
He's short
I don't
king.
care what the internet says.
He was great in that show, Mobland.
I was right about Mel Gibson. It says, yes, this is just an AI overview, so, bear with me. Mel Gibson was offered the role of James Bond multiple times in the 80s, but turned it down primarily due to fears of being typecast and stuck in the role long term, citing Sean Connery's experience as a cautionary tale. Though he was considered for GoldenEye, later he was approached when he was younger, around 26, and again later, but felt the commitment was too great, preferring to pursue other projects like Lethal Weapon in directing.
That's our version of James Bond too, in its own way.
I wonder if it's one of those things where he regrets it.
I don't think so.
He's still got a lot of money.
He's had such a huge career that.
Yeah.
So the American James Bond is not, in my opinion,
Mission Impossible.
I think the American James Bond is Jason Bourne.
Nah. Oh yeah, that's way better. Yeah. You're right.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because technically there haven't been multiple Jason Bournes, but there have been James Bourne spin-offs that were still called Jason Bourne with other characters.
Yeah.
The one with Jeremy Renner, or you could say Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan is the other, because Jack Ryan has been played by tons of people.
It was Tom Cruise first, right?
No.
Who was it?
It was Harrison Ford did it. Sean Connery who did it in The Hunt for Red October, and then Ben Affleck did it, and Jeremy Renner did it, and Chris Pine did it. You can look it up, but a lot of actors have played
what am
Jack
I thinking
Ryan.
of?
And then of course,
I was thinking of John Wick.
You're thinking of Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher, yeah.
Yes, Tom Cruise did Jack Reacher.
My bad.
First.
Sorry, excuse me.
And then now, of course, John Krasinski, which was in the news recently because that shitty second season of Jack Ryan, which was about Venezuela.
Yeah,
nailed
it.
Well, I mean, not really. So there's a really great video. This is such a tangent, but there's a really great video from Fee Online. And it's what Jack Ryan got. Like Jack Ryan is lying about Venezuela, and it's a great picture of like John Krasinski as Jack Ryan with the Pinocchio nose, and it's all about how season 2 of Jack Ryan ignores the fact that socialism is what killed Venezuela, and basically just lists the cause of the downfall of Venezuela as generic corruption. But it's a great video, and everybody should go watch that.
But I mean, generic corruption is just socialism.
I mean, but the point is they're saying, like, you had a great opportunity. Jack Ryan, being an analyst, had a great opportunity to really go in depth because Tom Clancy was known for being very accurate with military history and getting all the details right. That's how the best writers make their bones, is by being really, really good with the details, and they didn't do that in the second season.
Could have really hammered it home.
They could have done that if they wanted to. All right. Let's move on, guys. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. Let's go the more esoteric direction, I guess. Every time I pick topics like these, I'm like, is anybody going to even care about something like this? But I think you will. I think you will. So one of my biggest complaints in Hollywood in the last, especially 20 or 30 years, is I believe personally that Hollywood, when it's making its big blockbuster movies, is absolutely terrified to give you genuine sincerity from their characters. And that is one of the things that immediately draws me to any type of characters. When you get, it doesn't always have to necessarily be positive, but on the positive side, any character that is without any sort of ego, any sort of sincere approach to teach you a moral lesson that doesn't involve the concept of deconstruction or subversion, I think that that is a win. There have been some movies in recent years that I do believe have done it. I believe that sports movies still do it very, very well because it's baked into the concept of making any type of sports movie, because it tends to be about overcoming obstacles, things like that. So I think Gran Turismo in 2023 did it really, really well. I think F1 this year did it really, really well with Brad Pitt. I believe Top Gun Maverick succeeded for that exact reason, because it told you a story about a man out of time where the world seems to be passing him by, and he still needs to prove himself that he can be the person that he needs to be. And I believe Twisters did the same thing in a very, very unique way, is that it showed the relationship between the main characters without snark or without any type of, again, what I believe is Hollywood ego, where they believe they're above telling you. I describe that movie as honestly syrupy sweet, and that's what I do think about it. And I got to seeing this clip that was going around. It's from the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I can't show it here because we will get copyrighted. You know what? I'm gonna show it anyways. I'm
gonna do it on audio
because we're gonna be watching the Robin Hood trailer anyways. So we're gonna get copyrighted on this episode. So why don't we just watch this here? This was a post from let me go here. Sorry guys, from Synesthetic that says sincerity used to be the default. Movies committed to their emotions and trusted audiences to meet them there. That belief made them feel real. So many films now hedge with irony or tonal whiplash, afraid to stand still and mean something. And I believe that that is describing modern day Marvel movies, where you can't allow any moment of sincerity to really sit without undercutting it with some type of Joss Whedon-esque joke that only really worked originally because it was Robert Downey Jr. doing it. And then you transfer that same sense of humor to every character. Many of those actors who may be great at their jobs do not have the same type of charisma that Robert Downey Jr. has. So this is from the original Spider-Man, and this is, of course, Aunt May explaining the concept of heroes, and I absolutely love this. So if you haven't seen the originals, perhaps you should stay off, but you've had 25 years.
Spoiler, it's statute of limitations.
Exactly. Here we go.
Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride. Even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want.
Look how long it held that shot on him.
Yeah.
Still going.
And it's the slow zoom. It's very Nolan-esque.
Even our dreams. Spider-Man did that for Henry, and he wonders where he's gone. He needs him.
What do you guys think? Am I off base here to think that Hollywood has removed itself from the concept of sincerity when it comes to these types of movies?
Yeah, well, probably because there's pressure to just write content for the masses instead of just being relatable.
I think that this is, I believe that, I don't believe that's right. I believe this is for the masses. I think that this concept, the concept of sincerity in the form of like unflinching sincerity, meaning that when the idea is like you have different personalities. You have the personality you show to other people, you have the personality you show to your loved ones, and you have the personality that you keep to yourself because it's so innate, like it's something so innate to you that you don't feel like it translates. And who you are to the public is different than who you are to your loved ones. Movies should show you an uncompromising view of that secondary person, like who you would be to your loved ones without any type of fear of it being looked at as lame or stupid. I do believe that there's a lot of, if not demonic personalities in Hollywood, I do believe that there is a lot of ego and a lot of postmodernism and a lot of hatred for genuine emotion.
Well, maybe now, but this is a movie from 20.
But that's
no, but
this
at this
is
point,
the
he's saying
point.
that emotion is just, what's the word I'm looking for? Just missing. And I think a lot of these kind of blockbuster movies are more focused on selling tickets versus trying to have a good story. And
I don't know if it's the tickets. I think
no, I'm saying the writing. You know what I mean? I think they don't want backlash for whatever reason, and they steer away from it.
They're not writing honestly because of the fear of backlash.
This is what we think is people are going to like, so let's tell them what they're going to like because we know what they're going to like. But I think Taylor Sheridan, this is more TV, he's done a good job at making soap operas for men. And
that is what they are too.
Yeah, they
are. And we love them.
I love Mayor of Kingstown, but this most recent season of Landman is really diving into the emotion between the relationship with Billy Bob Thornton's mother and the father, and them kind of exploring that really complex dynamic of that relationship. And you don't see that nowadays on TV. Now it's just,
well, it depends, and I think TV you have more time,
more
to
leeway.
breathe.
There's more leeway,
sure, as opposed to a movie that they're just trying to get out.
Yeah.
My opinion for this is that the success of the Avengers in Joss Whedon's particular style of writing destroyed an entire generation of films, meaning that Joss Whedon much like James Gunn, had an ability to mix together snarky humor with genuine, heartfelt emotion. I think James Gunn's is a little raunchier than Joss Whedon's, but Joss Whedon's even was more successful, like you said, when it came to television.
Yep.
So if you watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Classic.
and I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or any of his other work like Dollhouse, which I really, really enjoyed, the way they would have written Xander in 1997 was still better than how they would write a secondary character today. But now it's like they took all the wrong lessons from first the success of Iron Man and then the success of the Avengers. So Iron Man gave you that first glimpse, in my opinion, of that Robert Downey Jr. delivered Tony Stark snark that worked very, very well for his character. One, because it was accurate to his character, and two, because Robert Downey Jr. is a generational talent that got the opportunity to get a role that he perfectly embodied. But the problem is they tried to take that humor post-Avengers and give that same type of snark, quick quip line to everybody. So people are put in danger, and then all of the stakes are immediately snuffed out because somebody has to deliver some type of snarky line or quip.
Mark Ruffalo does not have the same timing as Robert Downey Jr.
No.
That's true.
Yeah.
And none of the goodwill from other people.
I mean, I would just argue that this is just a diversity situation in the writing room. You have a
Fair.
bunch of diverse people in a room, and they're just trying to agree on one line. Just to
So you
get
think
it
it's
written.
about writing by committee?
Yes.
That's fair. Yeah.
And that's become increasingly common because the Oscars and other like DEI, well, they're rolling back a lot of the DEI requirements. Psych, they're not actually going to. They're just going to rename them. But writing rooms had to have a specific amount of people. Like you no longer had just one. You didn't just have Aaron Sorkin writing every episode and then doing it all himself. Or who was the dude who did? Somebody can let me know down below who it was that did True Detective. I forget his name. Nick something, but I can't remember his last name. Starts with a P. But he was great, and he did the reason that True Detective Season 1 worked so well is because you had one vision coming up with the whole series, right? But here's the thing. I believe it also has a lot to do with Hollywood's love for deconstruction and subversion. So they don't want you to get what you want. They want to tell you what is right. They want to tell you what the best story is, and it's your job to be a good little pay pig and just enjoy it.
Well, which is part of the diversity.
Yes. And the other thing is, when it comes to that, they prefer the idea of subversion, and they don't. I believe that at its core, it's a form of deceit. And actual sincerity is the antithesis of deceit. It means that you're being unapologetically who you are in a moment when it would be very easy to be something else. And I'm not necessarily talking about the characters, because the characters are whatever their writer wants them to be. I'm saying the writer needs to be able to sit down and give you something emotionally evocative. But like you said, how can you do that when it passes through so many hands before it ends up in the final product? Not to say that editing isn't important. All scripts go through rewrites, but it is important for the
foundation.
meaning.
When you're creating
Yes.
continuity in that foundation
Yeah.
in the writing, it's easier. Like even with the three of us, we'll be writing something, and I'll be like, "This is what we go," and then she'll be like, "Well, what about this?" And you'll be like, "Well, we don't want to upset these people with this," and then it just
And we're only 3 people.
And that's what I'm
something
saying.
like for Avengers Endgame probably has
It's
like
20.
20 writers. Yeah.
because unions are communist and they stink.
Well, we should just end the clip there, but we can't. I also think that and this is just my own theory going around in my brain. I also think that this speaks to why Hollywood loves Batman so much. Now, on top of the fact that Batman is the second most successful comic book character of all time, perhaps next to Spider-Man, who we just saw there, I believe that his story is so dark, but it allows for sincerity in the most modern way. Meaning that there's evil characters, there's the tragic death of his parents. Now, that is very common in all sorts of comic book characters, but the dark, brooding nature and tone of the way Batman is written allows them to lean into a different type of sincerity as opposed to the sincerity of a character like Spider-Man, which I do believe has a wider reach. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. I fully believe this year, and we'll talk about it later, that this year, the only sure thing at the box office, Marvel-wise, is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, Avengers Doomsday just released an X-Men trailer today, which
What?
actually I did.
X-Men?
Well, it's like a
X-Men.
1-minute trailer. They're releasing 4 different trailers throughout all of the run of Avatar. And it was good. And we got to see Professor X, we got to see Magneto, we got to see Cyclops, and it was great. But how much is that going to matter when it's all going to be cameos because there are going to be 10,000 characters in the movie anyways?
Yeah.
I believe that Spider-Man is the most sure thing out of all of those films because of the character of Spider-Man has that sincerity. But I don't even think the sincerity of Spider-Man has been as real as it was in the Sam Raimi age, whether it be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, or the Tom Holland ones.
Now, here's the thing. I watch a lot of movies. Most of them are not Marvel movies.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those movies do have sincerity, the ones that I watch. So,
Yeah.
I mean, do Marvel movies need to have sincerity?
I think that
To a degree.
I
I mean,
think that the shrinking return on investment says that they should. Like so you have the outliers like Deadpool and Wolverine because Deadpool's character is literally antithetical to the idea of that type of sincerity because it's all crass humor and
it's
dick
hilarious.
jokes.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's its own
but that's what it
audience.
is. It's comedy or whatever.
But plenty of other movies would require a certain level of sincerity that I believe is lacking from the industry these days.
Yeah, it's just kind of popcorn movie where you just consume popcorn and watch it.
When you watch Top Gun Maverick, like the example I always give is like when that movie was over, it ends the film with him getting the girl, riding off into the literally the sunset, and a ballad plays. A Lady Gaga love song plays. When was the last time a big budget, that type of blockbuster movie leaned into that type of romance in an uncompromising way? I can't, like, even Twisters, which I also really, really liked and felt like it did really, really well with the emotionality. It balked. It didn't do that at the end. They were supposed to like get together and kiss in the airport, and the director was basically like we're gonna leave it up in the air. It's like, why? Like, why would you do that?
Just give the people what they want.
Yeah. What's an example? What is an example of some movies that have leaned into sincerity that you've seen lately?
Tommy Boy.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, but Tommy Boy did.
No,
I
but-
mean, like, if it's a comedy of all things too, and it's
I mean, that can work too. So
it is the coming of age of this young man taking the place of his father, trying to fill the save the day, and then saves the day, gets the girl, even has a sincere moment at the end, thanking his father, saying he wants to be everything he could be, and it's.
I'll give you an example in the conservative space. So we reviewed Lady Ballers from Daily Wire when it came out.
Yeah.
And I said I liked it a lot, but I viewed it as like 2 separate movies. When it was doing like the Reddit, it's not even Reddit, the X type anti-woke humor, it faltered. But when they leaned into the main character's like relationship with his kids, I was like, oh, wow. Like, you don't see a lot of stories like this. I thought that was good, but it didn't have a way of balancing the two between them. Even when I talk about like Gran Turismo, which I loved. I thought Gran Turismo was fantastic. If you didn't see it, it was in 2023.
Is that with Christian Bale?
No. Gran Turismo was David Harbour. It's literally about the Gran Turismo video game, but it's about the real world story where the Gran Turismo was basically they hired people that played the Gran Turismo game to be actual racers. It was the story of the first person who won that competition. It was very, very good. And then F1 did it this year with Brad Pitt because it was the story of this guy who he got a second chance at greatness because of he had his accident when he was younger, and he comes back and he discovers this new kind of found family in this racing team, and it's great and it's fantastic. And I feel like that is what is missing from the big budget blockbusters. Now you've said that it's more common in the movies that you watch, but
yeah. Well, you mentioned Lady Gaga, and I was thinking A Star Is Born. That's a perfect example
it's a great
of
movie.
sincerity. And recently, we just watched. This is an older movie, but we just rewatched Love and Basketball, and that's a movie with plenty of sincerity. I'm trying to think of other
Basketball
movies.
Diaries.
Yeah, but that's Leonardo DiCaprio.
And Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that, like it's just. I think that maybe Marvel would do better to pivot away from that type of humor. Now I understand why they've kept it for so long. I think for most people, that is your structural through line to make everything feel like it exists in one universe. But again, they don't need to do that. I think that they don't give their audiences enough credit. Where if it doesn't feel like everything comes off the same factory line, that they're not going to like it. But Captain America Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie they ever made, in my personal opinion, and it's vastly different from the other Marvel movies. It's got the quips, but it was a phase 2 movie, so it was still earlier on in the run, and I think that is the best movie they ever made because it asked difficult questions about morality, about what happens to soldiers in war, and all of that stuff. When it needed to, it didn't necessarily add the quips, whereas I feel like now they don't know where to remove them. If that makes sense.
I agree.
Is there anything else you've watched? So you mentioned Landman.
Landman is any Taylor Sheridan movie or show is just a men's soap opera. Like Mayor of Kingstown, it's about prison and kind of the dynamics and the dilemma between family and like he does. I think Taylor Sheridan does a good Yellowstone. They do a good Tulsa King. I mean that's sincerity at its finest. Yes,
I like the all of the Taylor Sheridan shows have the same problem for me. I always watch season 1 and I never watch season 2. Loved Tulsa King season 1, didn't get around.
Season 2 is great. I mean, Mayor of Kingstown, they just announced that they were ending on season 5,
right?
And people are like, Jeremy Renner says last season on Paramount.
So Taylor Sheridan's moving to Peacock. He's moving to Universal.
But the thing is,
Peacock?
Yes, Universal.
Yeah, that's Peacock. So. My question is, can Paramount be like, we have the IP for Mayor of Kingstown, you can't have it?
I don't know how that works.
But a prequel, a sequel, like a prequel, like what happened to Mike before.
He's going to Universal for films. I believe he's with Peacock. I believe he is where somebody can fact check me on this one. I might have that wrong. I believe he is with Paramount through 2028.
Yeah.
But he's free to start developing movies for Universal this year.
He's gonna just inject himself on a horse wrangling a cow any which way he can,
because it became a thing where how did David Ellison, when he took over for Paramount this year and he started spending money rapidly, how did he not lock Taylor Sheridan down
for the show
for all things through 2028
because he was already locked down.
But
I like all those shows have some form of sincerity. Yellowstone, I don't know the years of those shows, but like 1893,
1883,
whatever. I don't know the years.
I liked 1883.
They're great. Harrison Ford and what's her face, the Meryl Streep.
Well, and the one with 1923.
Meryl Streep or Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah,
Helen Mirren. I get all these old ladies confused.
Glenn Close, Helen Mirren, Meryl Streep. They're all the same.
It's true. I don't know.
It's rude.
I am rude.
All right. Look, just make of that what you will. Those are just my thoughts on the matter. I believe that they should start making more of the superhero fare with a more honest lens like that. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the box office in 2026. So one of the hallmarks of the last 5+ years is that Hollywood can't seem to crack this milestone of making $9 billion at the domestic box office. I believe they finished this year with between $8.7 and $8.9 billion. And that was basically rescued at the very end of the year by Zootopia, which made a ton of money, though it made a lot of it in China. So they're wondering what is going to be the story for the box office in 2026. It says the past 12 months were supposed to turn things around for struggling cinemas, but instead of heralding a dramatic return to moviegoing, 2025 is running neck and neck with the middling 2024 box office and will fail far short of the $9 billion in domestic ticket sales that most analysts expected the theatrical movie business to easily eclipse. Keyword there is easily. Prior to the pandemic, $10 billion to $11 billion. The 2025, that was what they were doing prior to prior to 2020. You know, a lot of that was bolstered by Marvel movies at that time, but they were hitting easily $10 and $11 billion. Then, of course, the pandemic happened. People got out of the habit of going to the movies. TVs are like you can buy like a 70-inch TV for like $12 and a pack of bubble gum now. It's like one thing
great. It's amazing.
It's one of the few things where I'm like, how is everything more expensive but TV prices just keep going down?
Well, it's because they insert listening devices.
They're not
so they
regulated.
can hear everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
I got my Roku TV off the floor for like $1,000. It's 76-inch. It's awesome.
Yeah. So it says for long-suffering movie theaters, salvation always seems to be just around the corner. In 2026, many of the biggest film franchises in history are returning to the screens. It's a squadron of high-profile spin-off and sequels, everything from The Avengers with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back in spandex, to Star Wars with a smattering of Mario and Luigi and Buzz and Woody in between. But since COVID upended the movie business and the box office has never been harder to predict, last year Marvel, once the most consistent hitmaker in Hollywood, saw one hyped-up superhero movie after another fail to connect with audiences, while auteur-driven films like Sinners and anime offerings like Demon Slayer became some of 2025's most unlikely successes. So with that caveat out of the way, we're staring into our crystal ball and going out on a limb to predict what are going to be the successes and failures of this coming year. Let's look at what they've got listed here as their sure things, as their, likely to succeed, their ones that they believe are safe bets, and their question marks. So these are the sure things that they're saying. The Odyssey from Christopher Nolan, Toy Story 5, which we mentioned earlier.
Little buzz.
And then Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, this is why I think this is funny. In the safe bet category, they've got Avengers Doomsday, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and Verity. Now, Verity, I believe, is a Colleen Hoover story.
That's right.
And It Ends With Us made a crap ton of money at the box office.
Well, and The Housemaid just made
yes.
Yeah.
So The Housemaid just blew past $100 million at the box office. Is just had a sequel announced today.
Awesome.
Thus proving that it was not Sydney Sweeney. It was the lesbian boxing story that failed. With Christy. And then these are the question marks. Project Hail Mary, which I am cautiously optimistic about. Disclosure Day, Clayface, and Practical Magic. The funny thing there, they didn't even put Supergirl in there. They put Clayface in there, but not Supergirl. So DC has their mid to low budget movies coming out this year. It's an off year because it's not Superman or Batman. They've got Supergirl and Clayface. I would compare Clayface as a movie. I imagine it's going to be more akin to the Sony Spider-Man villain movies like a Morbius or a Kraven the Hunter. Or if you want to go the more successful route, Venom. I don't think this is going to make Venom money because I don't believe that Clayface is as well known to normies as Venom is.
I don't know, Clayface.
So, but it's going to be an R-rated movie, so that automatically means that you have to work harder unless you're a Deadpool and you can make $1 billion on an R-rated movie. There are very few R-rated movies that do that. But the point is I think we need to move away, my personal opinion, from the 4-quadrant blockbuster film. Now, Verity was mentioned. Verity is a movie that's based on a Colleen Hoover book, which means it's going to be for women, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
They should. So whether it's Verity, whether it's It Ends With Us or Barbie, these are movies that are unapologetically for women to go see with other women, maybe their boyfriends.
But Barbie wasn't a women movie. Barbie was very alpha.
Barbie,
it was a woman movie.
If you went to the theater, it was women going there, getting dressed up with other women.
But the messaging was very, very based.
That Ken is the superior person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, actually, my favorite part about that, we did this segment on this interview where they tried to get Greta Gerwig to explain the feminism of Barbie.
And she couldn't.
She just spent 20 minutes rambling.
Yeah.
Worse than me, and I am a rambler, my friends. She clearly didn't have an actual answer for it.
Well, yeah, she got lost in the world of it a little bit. She didn't have a solid foundation in the writing room.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, that's fair.
But I do believe this year that Spider-Man Brand New Day is more of a sure thing than Avengers Doomsday, and I'll tell you why. Because Avengers, first of all, there hasn't been a full trailer, so I could just be getting my own, I'll get my ass kicked later if they release a really good trailer and it gets everybody really, really excited again. Maybe that ends up working. But you've lost a lot of your core audience. Spider-Man never has. Spider-Man has continued to be successful for years and years and years. He's the only surefire character. To this day, there are still kids wearing Spider-Man pajamas.
And Batman.
And Batman, right? Those are even Batman's less of a sure thing these days. The last Robert Pattinson,
that wasn't bad. I liked it.
$772 million is a lot.
But that's not Batman money.
But Spider-Man's box office went up as the Tom Holland movies came out. Obviously, once No Way Home came out, well over $1 billion. In 2021, towards the tail end of the pandemic, when they were still using COVID as an excuse for why people weren't going to the theaters. That is why Top Gun Maverick and Spider-Man No Way Home were such anomalies that year, is they proved the narrative wrong. That it isn't the box office, what the problem actually is you're making garbage films that nobody wants to go and see. But what movies are you looking forward to this year? Do you care about the Odyssey?
No, I won't see that. Toy Story 5, I'll go with my kids. I don't like Colleen Hoover books. I don't understand like the craze or like behind Verity, but
Never read one.
I will definitely go see it. Probably with my girlfriends.
Did you go see The Housemaid? You said
Yes,
you were going
I
to.
did.
Thoughts?
I liked it. I think it was very close to what the book was, and you
You
know,
read the book?
I read the book. I liked the book, and you know, the first act is a little zany, but I think that's true to the nature of the book already. It's kind of hard to put like crazy person on screen.
What about Super Mario Brothers? Are you going to take the kids to see Super Mario Brothers?
They're making another one. I mean, I'm sure they are.
Super Mario Galaxy this year.
Oh,
Maybe.
heck yeah!
We didn't take them to see the SpongeBob movie because I'm just like,
Oh, I did
don't
want to
wanna
see SpongeBob.
that.
Was it good? Do we know if SpongeBob
I
was
don't
good?
go see. The only thing I remember from that was Ice Spice being really inappropriately dressed at the SpongeBob premiere.
Oh yes, you
Sounds
know.
about right.
But Super Mario Brothers will make $1 billion. I have no doubt.
Yeah, I'm also surprised Devil Wears Prada isn't here.
I'm no. This is so. There's
There's
more
like a
to the
short
list
list?
in the so that those are the early. There are more examples here in the sure things. So Super Mario Brothers Galaxy, Toy Story 5, The Odyssey, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Here's the safe bets: Mandalorian and Grogu, Avengers: Doomsday, Verity, and then we're in the question mark territory: Project Hail Mary, Disclosure Day, Clayface, Practical Magic 2, and then here are the biggest risks: The Bride. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Oh wait, is that with Zendaya?
It's audiences have been flipping for auteur-driven horror films since Ryan Coogler's
No.
Sinners and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Maggie Gyllenhaal, who impressed with her directorial debut in The Lost Daughter, is offering up a bold vision with her steampunk take on Frankenstein.
Oh, so
God.
that's gonna be a flop.
No, yeah, it's not gonna be good.
So it says it has an $80 million budget.
Ooh, well, somebody's getting paid.
Hoppers. And then we've got Digger, which was the movie with Tom Cruise, right? They don't mention Devil Wears Prada in this
weird.
list.
I feel
They already put a female-driven movie on there. They didn't need to put.
they
a
didn't
second
need
one.
more. Yeah.
I mean, I think that'll be successful.
I think it'll
do.
be actually probably do better than Practical Magic 2.
I mean, the Mamma Mia movies, still, they don't make as much money as the first one did, but they still make money.
Yeah.
Is Anne Hathaway in the next Devil Wears Prada?
Yes. And
Yeah.
she's also in Verity, I think.
Okay.
She's
She still got it.
Yeah.
See, so do you think that's her? Do you know what Verity is about? I've never.
have no idea.
Believe it or not, I don't read Colleen Hoover books.
Yes.
I've never heard of this movie.
It's a book. It's based on a book, and it's about a writer who gets hired to finish a novel for a woman who's in a coma by the woman's husband.
That sounds like a tough
And then there's
task.
like the twist at the end.
So is this
She's not in a coma?
Sydney Sweeney's like?
It's
her
very
niche?
similar to Housemaid. So I mean, it's not Sydney Sweeney's not in Verity, but it is very similar to that
Very
book as
biased.
well.
I feel like COVID and everything, but I feel the biggest thing that's really hurt the box office is just streaming has killed the movie star. And if I can wait a month to see a movie on Netflix or Paramount or whatever it may be to come out, okay.
I don't do that. So if
I
I
know
don't
you
see
don't.
It, I'm saying if I don't see it in theaters, I don't watch it.
really?
Most of the time I don't, but then it'll pop up. I'll be like, oh, there it is. Boop.
Unless it's a movie that just came out on streaming. So Netflix had a couple in the last couple of years that really did it for me. I liked The Killer, the David Fincher movie in 2023. I would have loved for that movie to go to the theaters. I liked Carry On with in 2024.
Is that Jason Bateman?
No, yes. Was he the bad guy in that movie? I forget.
think
Yeah,
so. I
yes.
don't think I saw it though.
I thought that one was great. I think they're even making a sequel to that. I've liked the Extraction movies that they've made, but again, all of those movies still would have been more fun to watch in the theater.
I agree. I saw Marty Supreme on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That was a great
and
movie.
That is now like the highest grossing A24 movie of all time, I think, domestically.
Already?
Yeah, like I think it's going to be the first to cross like 100 million at the box.
I enjoyed it a
100
lot.
million total.
Probably because the marketing was so good, right?
Yeah.
The marketing helped out a lot. You know, Mr. Wonderful really did a great job.
Hold on, now I have to double check it.
Well, and he's with Kylie Jenner, and if you're a Kylie Jenner fan, then
Well, yeah, that too. There's that. Well, she threw some shade at him, didn't she? Timothée Chalamet.
My favorite part of that is he
just won a Critics' Choice.
And he goes he thanked Kylie Jenner. He's like, I couldn't have done it without you. I'm like, objectively, you could have. Like you don't have kids.
But
at home.
Kylie Jenner, like she really, she's got a fan base.
Well, she's got the marketing business entrepreneur behind her,
Yeah.
you know, so probably
You're a
helped him out a lot.
Kardashian. Those Armenian women, they know what
She was
they're
like,
doing.
honey, you got to go out in your orange jumpsuit and act crazy.
I mean, but he's kind of that's who
That's
he
him,
is.
yeah.
He's always like that.
He was
a
in
weirdo.
what movie was he in when he was a young? What was it? Was it Mission Impossible? No. I forget. He had a very small role in a movie.
Who? Wait.
Timothée
Timothée
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Like one of his earliest roles. I
Yes.
forget what it was.
He played the son to Matthew McConaughey's.
That's what it is.
Interstellar.
In Interstellar. That's what
Yeah.
it was. It was Interstellar. Yeah.
He was in early seasons, and I'm saying early seasons of the show Royal Pains, and like from the USA Network in like 2008,
Yeah,
2009.
boy.
he's an odd character.
Ezra
I don't
Miller
know.
was in the-
I don't want to like him, but I do happen to like his movies.
Ezra Miller was in that show too. Like we're talking
Oh,
early,
right.
early days when they, before he became a creep who was terrorizing women around the world.
Yeah.
I think they should move away from the 4-quadrant blockbuster and start focusing exclusively on on a specific demographic for every movie and not lean away from it. So one of the
You
comments.
mean like a movie should be made for a woman, a movie should be made for kids, like that?
Yeah, I do.
We're going to hit the 18 to 30-year-olds with the sports movie right here.
Yes,
Miracle on Ice.
I think.
Point 2.0.
Yeah,
Kind of
what is that
happens.
one, right? What is that one about? Like,
That's going to be
Russia
US.
makes a comeback.
That's USA versus Canada.
No, it's like Russia's revenge.
Yeah.
Because people forget they didn't even play Russia in the final.
No, that was the semis.
Yeah, they played Finland in the final.
Yeah, and they crushed them. But the the junior team just lost to Finland, and then Canada won the World Juniors.
But
That sucked.
like movies in general, I think when you try to make something for everybody, you end up making something for nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it becomes
But
kind
that's
of a
the problem
sludge.
with the Marvel movies. With these,
Yeah.
But that's what they ban.
That's why
But
you're not gonna have sincerity.
it also still gets the draw in the sense of like, oh, it's the Avenger movie. Let's see the Avenger.
Yeah,
but it's slop.
That's off the backs. So the reason why the Marvel movies work, in my opinion, when they work, is because what I think they've realized now is that Marvel used to have the pedigree where they could get you to go watch a movie about a character that you had never heard of.
Ant-Man.
So they could get you to go watch Ant-Man. They even could put Captain Marvel and shove it between Infinity War and Endgame and make $1 billion because people needed to know whether there was some post-credit scene that was going to...
The continuity, man. It's
Exactly. But now, after the movie, after Phase 3 ended and there was no more Thanos, they tried to introduce a bunch of characters, badly written characters that nobody cared about, and they saw increasingly diminishing returns on investment. So Eternals was literally movie volume. I can't think of anything more boring. I actually think Shang-Chi was fine, but again, not
he's
a
a good
character
actor.
that
I like him kind of. He's
Simu
all
Liu
right.
sucks, but he's not a bad actor. But in general, when they
He's not
moved
bad.
away from the characters that everybody had heard of, they realized that without the last 5 to 10 years of goodwill that we've now blown through, it doesn't work anymore. So now what are they doing? They're bringing back Chris Evans as Captain America. They're bringing back
Robert
Thor.
Downey Jr.
They're bringing back. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. isn't coming back as Tony Stark.
He's still coming back though, but he's
coming
still
back.
gonna bring you back to be
And
like,
they're-
what's he gonna do?
And they're bringing back the X-Men for like their 20th final film.
Will they bring Logan back?
They're already talking about another Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie.
How?
Till you're
You
90.
can't.
Till you're 90, as they said in Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think the Odyssey is a sure thing. I think the Odyssey will make a crap ton of money.
That's a Christopher Nolan movie,
Yes,
right?
the power of Nolan bros will compel them forward.
What's the point of Odyssey? Like, what's the?
I've never read the book, so
Yeah,
It's a book.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know much about it.
it's Greek mythology.
It's gonna have
right?
some.
Greek
I don't know anything.
It's, gonna
It's got
oh,
Zendaya
it's the
in it.
actual Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not like I'm thinking like an interstellar space kind of thing.
No, it's the actual.
It's the actual Odyssey. Oh, so you know what's gonna happen, and they're gonna ruin it. They're gonna mess it up, and it's gonna be annoying. What's the Leonardo DiCaprio Inception? That was great that's a great Christopher Nolan movie.
Speaking of screwing it up and ruining it, let's actually move on.
Fair.
Let's talk about the next. You guys know you guys know my feelings on A24. I am anti A24. It's not enough to just not like A24. You have to be actively anti A24. If you know somebody who has an A24 tattoo, you should look at them with a side eye. They're weird. You should question them. They have a new movie coming out called The Death of Robin Hood. Now, I made a joke yesterday. I was like, of course they don't like Robin Hood. He stole from tax collectors, and these people love to steal your money. Okay, that's obviously, I was kidding. We're going to watch this trailer here for The Death of Robin Hood. And I think a lot of people are going to look at this as a modern day Hollywood take that is subversive of the character of Robin Hood. It is not accurate because according to what I've learned, the earliest stories of Robin Hood made him out to be far more violent, far more murderous, and this movie seems to be taking inspiration from those early stories. So let's go ahead and watch this trailer. You guys can let us know in the comments what you think about it. So here we go.
Would you like to know a secret? People speak of Robin Hood, tell his stories. They're all lies. He was not a hero. You were a murderous brigand.
So dark.
I mean, it's A24. It kind of feels like the Northman.
Yeah.
They were monsters. I am the outlaw. Robin Hood.
This would help if I could see what was going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
see
dark the
anything.
whole time.
Groweth sad and bloweth mad and springeth the
No.
word anew.
I owe you an apology. You begged for me to let you die. What's your name?
Can you make for me?
I'm going to make you a bow.
Is that the Wolverine?
It is
Yes.
Logan.
All right.
For Hugh
Logan
Jackman.
for Robin Hood.
With the bow instead of the knife things.
What happened to her?
Terrible things.
She's gone.
I help those who come to this island. Then people change their course.
I've killed so many I could not give you a count. It's a curse. There are bad people out there. I fear our blood debts will follow her. I'll keep you safe. I will keep you safe.
Bill Skarsgård,
Bill
Jodie Comer,
Skarsgård.
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is playing Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
So we had Robin Hood with a Y the other year, which was race
there?
and gender swapped Robin Hood.
Wait, what?
Oh.
They've got a Robin Hood television show going on right now on MGM Plus that has gotten mixed to positive reviews. And then we've got my personal favorite, which was the BBC Robin Hood from like 2007, which I really, really liked. But of course, people were drawing their attention back to what you mentioned earlier, which is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the only That's the only Robin Hood that really stands up.
So
That's right.
basically, the point here that they get into is that Robin Hood as a character has been rewritten throughout history, meaning that in the earliest adaptations of the character, he is depicted as having killed people, portraying him as a violent outlaw rather than as purely chivalrous, non-lethal hero that many later adaptations coming from like Disney and whatnot made him out to be.
I was gonna say we have to blame this on Disney, don't we?
Well, also don't forget the Robin Hood cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was
And-
also the movie. When was that Robin Hood movie?
Yeah.
They did
The
one a
cartoon
couple
one?
years ago.
No, like even further, like the 2012s.
Yes.
I thought. Yeah.
I was thinking of King Arthur with Charlie Hunnam. Never mind.
Oh, that's actually maybe
Not
what I
that
was
one.
thinking.
That one was horrible. But the point is much like I was saying earlier, this is true that the Disneyfication of a lot of stories means that what we've grown up with has been a more sanitized version. That's obviously true for a lot of the old fairy tales. Like if you look at the old Grimm's fairy tales, they were very violent, and their moral lessons were a lot scarier than what they end up getting taught when they get kind of sanitized for Disney release. But the thing that I thought was interesting was that plenty of people were saying they're trying to destroy another Western hero because nobody gives anybody in Hollywood the benefit of the doubt anymore that maybe they took this from a prior adaptation. They believe that the people who make movies and television these days want to tear down everything to do with Western culture and rewrite your heroes and, like I said earlier, subvert expectations, change the narrative around these famous characters so that we can see them as broken down has-beens of what they once were at a time that they don't love the way we might like the way that characters were written in the 80s and the 90s. And people don't have the goodwill that they once did. I don't know if it matters because A24 has its own cult of personality.
True.
What were your
Fair.
thoughts on it?
Well, just seeing the trailer alone, it's something I certainly will not be seeing.
Well, you
And I
couldn't-
like A24 films.
You just couldn't really see much anyway with all the smoke and darkness and fire.
I mean, it did make me think of all of the what was not the other A24 films, but other things. The Northman, the Robert Eggers movie.
Yep.
Right, like was much the same way as far as its cinematography, and it will look very different once we're looking at it on a screen, a small screen in a brightly lit room. It will look very different once you're in the theater. But there was a couple of tweets that I thought were funny.
Well, hold on. I mean, you could say what you want about A24, but they do take risks.
Yes,
That Nicolas Cage movie where he's the professor. What's that one? The A24 movie.
The Pig?
No, it wasn't. He wasn't Pig. I don't think. No, he was Pig's the one with the. That was a Nicolas Cage movie, but this one he was a professor, and I thought it was gonna be much better than it was, but it wasn't.
Is it Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage?
No, that was a great movie. That one's.
He's doing his own Spider. He's doing Spider Noir coming out soon too.
I don't know. What
it's a different type of Spider-Man.
He's like a professor, and he's
I love Nicolas Cage,
like living in a different reality kind of thing. And I thought it was gonna be something more, but it wasn't.
They're also making Lord of War 2.
What?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
If anybody loves Lord of War, this is like your Super Bowl. Okay, I don't know if I want it, but I'll watch it.
Dream Scenario, which actually that was a pretty good movie. That was interesting.
It was interesting. It wasn't what I expected.
No, definitely not.
And I was kind
that's one of those A24 movies I can get behind.
Yeah.
But Hollywood has been rewriting Robin Hood for decades by saying rob from the rich and give to the poor, where it's used as an example to like rob from billionaires and give to the poor, when really it was taking from the tax collector.
Now it would have been really fun to see a Robin Hood movie that was modern day,
like in current year. I mean, that's just the
there
character.
Probably a lot of storylines. I feel like that overlaps a lot, but not literally Robin Hood.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the first few seasons of the show Green Arrow were literally the show's Arrow was literally like him. I mean, he wasn't robbing from the rich. Actually, he was doing the Hollywood interpretation where he's robbing from corrupt businessmen to give back to the public who's been kind of held down on the boot of the rich people of
capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, they don't use those words, thank God, but
but it's heavily inferred.
I love those shows. But does this movie interest you?
I'm not opposed to it. I might see it when it comes out streaming in a year or two, and I'm not going to go to the movies to see it.
Yeah.
Probably. You really have to get something. Like Mario Supreme, that marketing, hook, line, sinker, I'm like, all right. And I love Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, but that's like a weird enough concept for a movie where it kind of denotes
it's an oddball.
weird
Fair.
marketing.
So it's
like, what's the marketing
what
for this going to be? Some dude shows up with a bow and arrow and scares the shit out of you.
That's
gotcha. Hits an apple off my head that
it's
I
like
didn't even know was there.
What was the movie where they had clowns popping up everywhere?
Well, in Smile, in Smile, they had people showing up with the.
That was weird too. I didn't like that. That's creeped me out. I said no. I need something fun, like ping pong balls.
So there was a quote that I thought was really funny from a tweet that said, they quoted the trailer. It said, "The legend was a lie. I smell CIA psyops trying to discourage more Luigi Mangione cases. Are we?"
Wait, what?
Yeah, they think that the CIA wrote this movie.
What? From that trailer?
Yeah.
From that trailer.
I mean, I don't know if they're being serious. But
still.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Like I feel like 10 years ago I would have really loved the concept of this, but now I just kind of roll my eyes at it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I'll wait to hit the streaming services and be pleasantly surprised on a Sunday or whatever it is and be like, oh, that wasn't bad.
But that trailer also gave us nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, but isn't that kind of what you want? You want your trailer to not give you too much?
Well, I mean, but I also want to understand a little bit more what's going on.
Like, it's not all about the trailer, because Medellin was a good trailer and that movie flopped.
I mean, Hollywood, like I was looking at the trailer for Michael recently. I'm like, I'm never going to go see this because I don't watch biopics about musicians. I don't care who they are. I hate biopics anyways. But the trailer was fantastic. Like, the art of cutting a trailer is vastly different from
It's very important.
the film.
That's how you get people. Like, I quoted the Entourage joke where it was like, the movie stinks, but we got to get it sold. So they use Medellin, they make the trailer amazing, and then it flops.
Oddly enough, that's actually one of the reasons why they take less risks. Is like one of the hardest things to do is to market movies that struggle with did anybody ever see the trailer for Jennifer's Body? Well, it was not advertised as
it wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't that. And there are tons of examples of that. Movies that don't fit comfortably into a specific genre or category, you end up going to see the movie and you're like, wow, that was very different
see that coming.
than what we ended up getting, right?
Not always a bad thing.
No. One of my favorite examples is like when they did the original trailer for the David Ayer Suicide Squad, which came out in 2016, the 2014 trailer that came out at Comic-Con was very, very dark and looked like it was leaning into a very, very serious tone. And then after their the Man of Steel didn't do the numbers they wanted. They panicked and started reshooting the film, and it became a Franken film cut together by a trailer company.
What? I
Where
didn't know
there's all
that.
this humor that doesn't really fit. It's very disjointed. It doesn't make much sense. And that's because they didn't lean into the initial tone
They just bailed.
that David Ayer wanted the movie to be. But the first trailer would have been, if they had made the movie honest to the first trailer, it would have been fantastic. But instead, what they got made a lot of money but didn't make anybody happy.
That's one with Jared Leto as the Joker, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And again,
flop.
that first trailer was great. They played up the reveal of him as the Joker as some sort of like horror character.
And he was only in the movie for like 20 minutes at
Yeah.
the end of the day, right?
less than that. I think it
Yeah,
was
that's
like
what
10.
I mean. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like he was just a cameo, but they made it seem like he was a big thing. Do you think that's because of the Frankenstein, the how they bailed?
They got away from his side of the story and
Yeah.
cut out a lot of the stuff with him and Harley Quinn, which got rid of like all the stuff that people actually really liked about that story, which was the emotionally abusive relationship between Joker and Harley, which was a very, very edgy story to tell at the time on the big screen for a comic book movie.
Yep.
And then they cut almost all of that out of the film,
That's what I
so
figured.
nobody liked it. All right. Guys, let's do some super chats here before we go. Let's get to a crisis party before we're done. Come on.
Yeah, he said he had a new song for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so you guys don't know which one you're gonna get, right? Because I've got
No idea.
several at my disposal. We'll have to wait and see what we've got before the show is over. If we get to a crisis party, which we should, guys. All
Please.
right. From Shane H. Wilder says, "Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett, Alex, and Charles. Who is your favorite Bond, and why is it Sean Connery?"
He's right.
Well, it's not Pierce Brosnan.
Mine is Pierce Brosnan.
Roger Moore is pretty good too, but I do love Sean Connery.
Wait, what is yours just
No,
because he was
no,
a dick?
I was joking.
She's like,
I
don't-
actually have not seen. I think I maybe saw one of the Pierce Brosnan 007.
You're over here like he's short and he sucks.
Yeah, no,
that guy.
He didn't like my drink.
I probably should watch those movies, but they're just not.
Tomorrow Never Dies is good. It's a classic.
Wait, why of all of those do you mention not GoldenEye? GoldenEye is
GoldenEye's.
clearly-
I was too young to really appreciate GoldenEye. I was older and able to actually enjoy Tomorrow Never Dies is
Bro,
the
that
one
came
where
out,
the
2 years after.
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of development for a young child. But I just remember watching Tomorrow Never Dies. That's the one where they have the sub where it's got the little bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
The one with the stealth sub.
Yeah, and I love submarine movies. So any submarine movie, you just hook, line, sinker.
You've got a letterbox set up.
I swear,
specifically
though,
for
like
sub
my
movies.
my family and my cousins all make fun of me. It's like, oh, it's a submarine movie. He's gonna love it. And if it has a submarine, it's like people with trains, but I'm a submarine.
So you're the hipster version of like male autism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean that movie's great because it was ahead of its time in a way about the evils of corporate media.
I loved how they
You know?
fall through the newspaper stuff and all the blood goes on the paper.
Yeah, that was
class. That was
you just
fun.
know the director was like, it's gonna be this symbolic statement about this. What was it? Jonathan Pryce plays the bad guy in that movie. He doesn't have as
Yeah.
much of a presence as you might think, but he's not bad.
No, it's mostly the person you said earlier, the female actress.
Well, she's not the bad guy. She's the Bond girl.
Who's
Michelle
the bad
Yeoh.
guy? No, the other lady. She's bad guy. She had a lot of presence. I forget who it is.
In that movie?
I thought so. I'm
No.
getting my Bond movies.
You're thinking
twisted
of
up.
Famke Janssen maybe as Xenia Onatopp in GoldenEye?
I'm just getting them all mixed up. Yeah.
I don't think there was a female villain in that one.
I thought there was.
It was Terry Hatcher, played one of Bond's exes.
Yeah.
And then Michelle Yeoh played the Chinese spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm just thinking of her kicking ass.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm
Who are
thinking
they
of.
saying that the Bond girl's going to be with this one?
I mean, everybody's saying it should be Sydney Sweeney, and that's why
No,
she's
but
been,
she's-
that's
well,
why
she's
she's been
gonna-
hanging out with Jeff Bezos. Maybe she's angling for that role. I don't think she would want to.
No, it's not really her lane, but
Like,
I mean, it's gonna be
She
like.
doesn't really have a lane.
You're right. Zendaya.
That was another one they
Uh,
pitched. Yeah.
She's not a Bond girl.
But the thing is, I flip-flopped. I'm Team Zendaya now.
I am Tim.
She's
Zendaya.
not a-
I've always been Tim.
No, I
Zendaya.
don't care for her as an actress, but she doesn't complain and she doesn't.
She just does her thing.
Yeah,
I like her.
She's kind of like Sydney Sweeney in that Sydney Sweeney gets all this attention, but she's not really that great of an actress outside of her specific genre.
But she's also not looking to like.
Yes,
She's not looking for the attention. It
Zendaya
just
kind of
happens.
makes the same face all the time, like this, and that's okay because she's not a whiner and she's.
Well, she's
very,
a model.
She's very media
She is,
trained. Oh, she's doing Blue Steel from Zoolander.
Yeah.
All right. There was a meme after the arrest of Maduro where it said like me and the boys having a harmless gasoline fight after we invade Venezuela. It's the scene from Zoolander where they're all dumping gasoline on each other.
Oh my god.
Which is the world coming to?
I had a good meme.
That's
it
a
was
great movie.
Maduro, like with everything, but doing the Ben Affleck thing, with
Yes.
the cigarette.
Yeah.
It was like when the revolution ends and that cigarette hits different.
I like the like him as basically Dr. Disrespect because he looked like Dr.
That's
Disrespect.
actually really funny. He got upset about that.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's not me."
I think he was memeing.
Not to get off too quick. Do you like the Burnt Peanut, the Twitch streamer?
I don't.
Oh,
watch
he's
Twitch.
funny. He is funny.
Pop culture junkie says my Amazon Prime / MGM source says Callum is definitely on the Bond shortlist, but a final decision has not been made.
It's not very 00 of him.
Again, that's like I would be terrified that if I was him, that like leaking the information or speaking
Would
about it
make
too
him
much.
out.
First of all, it's bad for you in general because like the more you talk about it, the more you talk yourself into it, and then when it doesn't happen,
You're bad.
like you're almost speaking it out of existence when you do that. It's kind of like one of the worst things you can do is like if you have a new idea about a business venture or something you want to make or something you want to do, the worst thing you can do is talk about it because just the act of talking about it satiates you in a way that prevents you from working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And M is going to be upset.
yep. I wonder if they're going to recast M. Ray Fiennes is still young enough to still do the character the way that Judi Dench did, but I wonder if they'll just recast entirely. Brian Bledsoe says the Citizens United Supreme Court decision has been used as an example of corporations as people and unintentionally ushered in the idea of socially conscious businesses. Well, the Citizens United Supreme Court decision is wrong, and corporations should not. You
can't pierce the corporate veil.
You can't expect corporations to act like people. You just cannot.
Which is why all the Marvel movies are terrible.
For your own good. It's stupid to think about it. It's like expecting a dog to act like a human being. Like, why didn't my dog do my taxes?
I saw
a dog can't do your taxes. Charles can do your taxes.
I could do your
but
taxes.
a dog can't. Shane H. Wilderson says Mel Gibson meeting a Bond girl. Hey there, sugar tits.
Yep.
That's about right.
Yeah, that's about right. All right. Shane H. Wilder again. You got 3 in a row here. I love Landman. Growing up in Midland, I can at least attest to that much is true. I met people exactly like the characters from the show. Love season 2. What are the themes of season 2?
Right now, it's Billy Bob Thornton dealing with kind of the relationship with his father and that dynamic of his mother passing away.
Is the wife daughter stuff just as weird and creepy?
Just as insufferable. Every time we watch it, my wife's like, "This is terrible. Why are they like this?" And then John Hamm passed away. Spoiler alert. In the first season.
In the future, the spoiler alert is supposed to come first.
Yeah, I jumped ahead. I'm new to this. And then it's just Demi Moore dealing with the fallout of his business practices and stuff like that, and them trying to solve problems and this stuff and romance and. Taylor Sheridan has not shown up on a horse wrangling a cattle yet, but he will. I'm sure he will.
A lot of people don't realize he was an actor before he was a producer and a director. He was in the early seasons of Sons of Anarchy.
No, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. See here. Shane H. Wilder says the reason for No Way Home doing well, I think, is in part because of all 3 Spider-Mans. It crossed generations. It had all 3 Spider-Mans. Spider-Men? Spider-Men's?
Spidey.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Spideys.
Also, I think that people it was
Spideys.
post-COVID, and I think people were like itching to get back to the theater for something.
I made some money on those AMC calls just for that.
Moon at Noon says refund from Mary's account.
Matt Chill.
Okay. Wait, did you give me the refund or did I give Mary the refund? I don't know.
Or do you take money
Seems
from
like you
Mary?
have it now, so it's
Yes.
yours.
Shane H. Wilder says Charles for Sean Connery's role in the Hunt for Red October remake. My Maduro meme was to redo the While You Were Sleeping poster with Trump and Maduro.
Sean
Yes,
Connery.
I saw that.
That's funny.
I didn't like the Hunt for Red October.
What?
As much you didn't let me finish. As much as I liked Patriot Games or
That's a
Clear
good one.
and Present Danger.
Hunt for Red October is a classic. There's a German
really-
or French film that's a good one. It's like Wolf something.
Okay.
It was a
I
Netflix
really,
one.
really liked Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan.
It was good. I like all submarine movies equally.
Moon at Noon again says, screw all remakes. See, I understand your sentiment, but I think that people are lying to themselves. I think that the box office year in and year out consistently proves that people say they want new things, but what they really want is slop. They want unmitigated slop. It's like a movie version of oatmeal. It's just bleh. That's what makes money for them year in and year out. With Sinners, of course, being your exceptions or your housemaids, and even then, they're not making the same amount. They're just doing it better on a smaller budget. But they should be making more movies like that, even though I don't think that people realize yet that what they want is they want the slop. They're lying to themselves. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episodes and the segments out with everybody. The best way that you can help this channel more than anything is to share the content out, engage with it in whatever way that you can. It means the world to us. Thank you. And there it is, guys.
Put a girl on.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
This is my favorite.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
I will not eat a cat.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
I'm glad it doesn't blow my. When I'm up there, I hear it really blow
Well, yeah,
up.
because it used to be in the speakers here,
Yeah.
and it's not in the speakers
Now
anymore.
it's just in your ear.
It's
So
just
I'd rather that because you used to startle me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt bad for everybody
No,
that
you didn't.
I
didn't.
I mean, I kind of did. As much as I could. As much as I can access that part of my emotional resonance.
Fair.
If only one time you'd been like, shut the fuck up.
Start hitting the ground.
You're like, what do you want me to do here?
You could probably hear me stomping if I really wanted to.
Just throw the headphones off and walk out.
All right, Charles, where can they find you?
You can find me on X at Frank_TrueBlue. I'm gonna be on GamerMaids in about 5 minutes.
You gotta
or
run.
so.
You gotta run straight from here over there.
I gotta do something else real quick, little utility work, and then go to shop.boonieshq.com. Check out the Blueprint collection that we got. Limited edition skateboards, some gold ones in there. They're pretty cool.
Perfect. All right, Alex.
I am Alex. You can find me at I am Alex Ayala on X. Also, I just want to say we were talking about the stuff going on with Disney, and I had brought up a guest that we had on Inverted World Live. If you want to go check out that episode, it was with the Paranoid American on Inverted World Live on YouTube, episode 42. It's called Adrenochrome, Disney, and Secret Society. So I definitely recommend checking it out. And also, it was great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the channel out. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. There's one more here from Shane H. Wilder. Says, never forget that one of Brett's favorite movies, Angels in the Outfield, is a remake. Yes, well, I'm the one who champions the fact that I think that people want remakes more than they claim they do. So that falls right in line. I think that's 100% accurate.
He tried to get you.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
See ya.